You know what wakes me up in a cold sweat at night? Holiday Phosphorescence.
I know that it's all for me. You're still my sunshine. Making sure I'm not in too deep. If you're still my sunshine. Keep bursting on my feet. If you're still my sunshine.
Hello everyone, this is your host Thoreau Smiley, and if I was any less black, I'd be clear. Who's joining me this week?
I'm Josh Cece, and I'm just down here in the right-hand corner waiting to suck.
Is this going to be cool? I'm Andrea Martinez Cece.
I'm Brian Lesh, and is it safe to have a radio against my balls like this?
And I would like to buy your most expensive bottle of champagne. I'm Alaric Weber.
And I told you no champagne now.
This is Holiday Phosphorescence. It is our Christmas, Hanukkah. I don't know what else we got in here. Kwanzaa isn't in December this year, right? Holiday, yearly holiday trip to the movies. This show,
War on Christmas.
yeah. I'm tired of this war on Arbor Day.
I'm doing my part.
Christmas is winning, folks.
It is. No, you know it's winning capitalism.
Right, which is what Christmas is.
Yeah, exactly.
It used to be about a tree.
Speaking of capitalism.
German tree.
Yeah, speaking of capitalism, the show is brought to you by our patrons. Patrons like executive producers Michael Beckwith and Atticus Burkett. You want to be a patron too? Go to patreon.com/harmless entertainment. We got lots of bonus content there. We've got Star Wars shows, music shows. We've got our monthly movies. We just put up Thanksgiving, which is
It's a movie.
It's a movie for sure. This
I don't know. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't know if it was a break from being in space. Because I'm going back and I'm like, you didn't like it as much as you're saying you did. But it was wild.
Yeah, no, Thanksgiving. It was a movie. It reminded me how fun it is to talk about really bad movies.
Yeah.
If you're into turkeys who fuck and murder, check out Thanksgiving.
I mean, who among us isn't these days?
And that's the thing. It wasn't so much space or the alien movies. Those are the majority of those movies are good movies. And it was fun to talk about all of them, especially Ridley Scott. But yeah, it was nice to be like, the turkey talks. I didn't expect the turkey to talk.
Yeah.
It was just nice to shift, Sometimes we get a little too Kubrickian.
Yeah, no. We need
our analysis.
We need a good mix now and then of movies that are just absolutely off the wall terrible.
The turkey is familiar with the art of disguise.
Yes.
He's an expert.
The turkey. No, the turkey is a little too good at disguise.
I'm still going to say the scene of him having coffee with the sheriff is one of the best comedic scenes I've ever seen.
It was the hard cut to them sitting at the table.
He's wearing a Groucho. Anyways, listen to Thanksgiving and then watch it.
Yeah, patreon.com/harmless entertainment. This week, as I said, we are kicking off our Holiday Phosphorescence, and our first movie this year is Go.
So what are you up to tonight?
We're going to this party tonight, this warehouse thing.
Some sort of rave thing.
Is this going to be cool?
Yeah, I guess.
Does the British guy still work here?
We went to Vegas for the weekend.
The British guy usually hooks us up.
Let me see what I can do. Give me a number.
I can't believe you're selling allergy medicine.
Oh, we're out of that. We're down to chewable aspirin.
I think I feel something.
It's really smooth, isn't it?
What do you want for Christmas, Claire?
We just kissed a little, okay?
Hello? He's a drug dealer.
He's a good guy.
Oh, he's the good drug dealer.
Listen, I just want to make a deal here. Can we make a deal?
Are you Monty Hall?
Now watch what I do with his wrist. Heck, down like that, bump. You know, I watch all these cop shows, and they never do it right. Ever.
Keep it close. Just an extra $10 in it for you. Get in the car.
You stole a car, shot a bouncer, and had sex with 2 women?
So now you're an entrepreneur.
You shouldn't do this, Rana.
Just drive.
Well, if you gotta go.
From Doug Lyman, the director of Swingers, Taye Diggs, William Fichtner, Katie Holmes, Breckin Meyer, Jay Moore, Timothy Oliphant, Sarah Polley, Scott Wolf.
You know what I like best about Christmas?
Mistletoe?
The surprises.
When there's nothing to do.
So, Zach, did you say you're open to new things?
Accept what you've done.
Is your British ass happy now?
When you've gone too far to stop.
There's no body, there's no crime. Put her in the trunk. Stop! What? Stop it! What? It's a Miata!
This spring.
Yo, man, I told you my mother's mother. Your mother's mother. This ain't roots. If you were any less black, you would be clear.
Nothing will take you farther.
It's stuck.
Give me that gun!
Go.
It's alright, I'm okay.
Go. 1999's Go. Released.
It's so 90s, and so many things relate directly.
Yeah.
Right down to the Miata. Remember Miatas?
Yeah.
Remember Josh's Miata?
Yeah.
We got like 5 people in that one.
Yeah, it was released April 9th, 1999. Runs 102 minutes. It cost $20 million. And it made $28.5 million. So it was not a hit. I think it found its audience on video, like so many movies did.
So it was an April release? Was that like I wonder if that was a festival release or if that's when they released it wide?
That was its wide
April,
release.
even though it's set in Christmas.
Yeah, its wide release was April.
Yeah. I remember seeing it in the theater, but I don't remember when.
Yeah, April 9th, it went into 1,500 theaters. So wide release.
I like Gremlins.
Yeah,
that's true.
That was June, but still.
And it's Die Hard. But I don't remember seeing it. But again, 99, that's not where the spare money was going, seeing movies.
Yeah. I remember seeing it, but I don't remember if it was in the theater. I think it was on video probably like 6 months later.
I actually saw it and then just was like, okay, that's cool. Because, of course, I probably saw it when that was still reality. Mm-hmm. But then Andrew and I watched it years later, and I was like, yeah, this is a lot better than I remember.
It's realizing that this was made by the same director as Swingers. I think that this has probably aged better than Swingers as far as like a time capsule for that. For that moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's true because Swingers was 90s, but at the same time, it was about trying to make it in Hollywood and that was a very particular, it was a very LA in the 90s movie.
It was also made during the 3 months of the swing revival that we thought would
Exactly.
Big bad voodoo daddy's here. Quick, get the cameras.
Cherry popping daddies. Oh no, guys.
Yeah. Oh no, fellas.
Like I said, it did not decent. It did okay box office. It barely made back its budget, but let's go ahead and play the box office top 10 game. This is the game where I will describe the top 10 movies of the week of April 9th, 1999. And our guests here are going to try to guess which movie I am describing. So, at number 10 for the week of April 9th, 1999, a teen and his pal set out to find the monster of Lucky Duck Lake.
Lucky Duck Lake.
This
Lake Placid?
No. No. the name of the lake is literally in the title, Jude. Or Josh. I called you Jude. Listen.
I appreciate that you mistook me for your son. Just
It was the J.
The tone.
Yeah, but it was the tone, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the tone. Jane, you ignorant slut.
Lucky Duck Lake.
Duck.
Is it the DuckTales movie?
No, but you're kind of on the right track. It is an animated film based on a kids' TV show from the 90s. I think all of us were definitely a little too old for when it was.
Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. The Goof.
Actually, maybe not Brian.
The Goofy movie?
Not the Goofy movie.
The Goofy?
Brian,
no,
you
that
might.
Was about
is this like a Darkwing Duck
in concert
or something?
You were probably around the right age for the show.
I was 12. Yeah.
Because it's the show's probably been showing for 5 years at this point, so you might have been watching it as a kid. It's a Disney property, but it's not like a Disney property. It's just produced by Disney. It's
The Fox and the Hound.
No. We're no animals. There's no animals. It's just
there's no animals.
Humans.
Oh, wing.
Yeah. This is Doug's first movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did see that.
I was around for Doug.
I loved Doug.
Yeah.
Doug was amazing.
That wasn't even one Code watched, I don't think.
I'm
aware of what Doug
Code would have been
like.
too young. Doug was like Seinfeld.
Yeah.
for tweens. Doug was animated Seinfeld for tweens.
I was not a fan. It was too dry for me as a little kid. I just remember being like, what's this guy got to complain about? Like, Jesus Christ, he's just complaining all the time.
I heard the name and then I saw the character and I was like, that dude is not Doug.
Yeah. That's a middle-aged teenager.
Doug is disheveled and unkempt. Doug has strange ideas.
I'm Doug. I'm out of here.
Exactly.
And I need to.
Wasn't that the guy in The Good Place? Sorry.
Nuka.
Was that the name of the guy that almost figured it out?
Oh, yeah. Will Forte? Was that who played him? No.
Doug Forsythe.
Yeah.
Oh,
Doug.
yeah.
Is played by Michael McKean.
Michael McKean. That's right.
Doug was a Nicktoons, I have to know. He was later bought by Disney.
Yeah.
But at this time was a
I see.
Nicktoons.
The poster said
absorbed.
Disney Presents. So.
Yeah, they do now.
Wasn't Doug part of that
they
whole?
present the Muppets apparently.
Wasn't Doug part of the whole like Rugrats?
Yes.
I feel like there was another one in there too.
Rugrats, All Real Monsters, Rocco's Modern Life.
Rocco's Modern.
Yeah.
All that
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah,
That was a crazy.
All
show.
that claspy chupo
Mm-hmm.
kind of stuff. At number 9 at the box office for the week of April 9th, 1999. A young playwright out of ideas and short on cash meets his ideal woman and is inspired to write a play.
Bullets Over Broadway?
No. This movie beat Saving Private Ryan for Best Picture.
Oh, Shakespeare in Love.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
right.
Wow.
Yes, we all remember all of those people weeping in theater during Shakespeare in Love.
Yeah, it was a perfectly okay movie.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Not even the best Shakespeare movie out of that era.
Not even the best movie in which Judi Dench played Queen Elizabeth that year.
Right.
Yeah, seriously. Holy shit. I still argue 10 Things I Hate About You is the better of the Shakespeare movies.
Oh, yeah.
From that era.
That one's
Absolutely.
great.
Sorry, Basil.
Because Taming of the Shrew, the actual play, reads like a Honeymooners episode, basically. Like,
yeah.
My wife is a pain in the ass. So, yeah. 10 Things I Hate About You totally nailed it.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys remember the moonlighting episode of The Taming of the Shrew that they did?
I do.
That one,
yes.
That was great. That was like an introduction to Taming of the Shrew when I was like 10.
And Mr. Pesto, I remember she was always so cute anyways, but like in the Elizabethan garb.
Yeah. At number 8 this week, identical twins separated at birth. One becomes a streetwise mechanic and the other an acclaimed classical concert conductor. Finally meeting in adulthood, They each become mistaken for the other and entangled in each other's world.
So not Freaky Friday.
Yeah, I was so ready for this to be the Lohan Parent Trap.
Or Parent Trap, thank you. Oh my God.
This movie stars as the twins, Jackie Chan.
Oh.
What?
I now have recollection of this movie, but I have no idea what it was called.
Something double?
It's called Twin Dragons.
Oh my God. Double Dragon was right there.
Well, I mean, I imagine. Yeah, I imagine there was some sort of, copyright issue with that.
Yeah.
At number.
I just wish that they had used special effects to make one Jackie Chan very short and squat, and then the other one a bodybuilder. Asian twins.
Number 7 at the box office this week. A soon-to-be married man encounters an exciting stranger after his plane suffers an accident on takeoff. This
6
was
Days and 7 Nights.
No, but it's
Ford and Anne Heche. No,
but it is a rom-com. It's in that vein. This stars
an accident.
Yeah,
Or not 6 Days and 7
this stars kind of like a pair of they would have been very hot young actors in '99. Not like young, not like WB young, but they were both up and coming.
Angelina Jolie.
We're in that vein-ish, kinda. We've our stars are Ben Affleck and Sandra Bullock.
Oh, Forces of Nature.
Forces of Nature, yeah.
Oh, I do remember that movie.
Yeah, I just remember the poster, or maybe it was the box at the video store all the time. He's like leaning back, and she's like, leaning into him. It's like windy and rainy.
Mm-hmm.
Speed 5. It's a train.
I feel like it's on a track, guys. It only goes one place.
I know. They did it on a boat.
I know.
It's gonna get there eventually.
Be like, oh no, there's stuff ahead of us. Can we turn?
Or there's nothing ahead of us for days.
Yeah. At number 6 this week, a high school boy can't date a girl until her antisocial older sister has a boyfriend.
There it is, Brian.
10 Things I Hate About You.
10 Things I Hate About You. Yep. Doing better than Shakespeare in Love this week. Although, to be fair, Shakespeare in Love has been out for 18 weeks, and 10 Things I Hate About You just came out.
Oh my God. Yeah, well, and MTV was pushing one of those movies, and it wasn't 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. JGL was in that too, wasn't he? Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was.
I think these adaptations were lost on a lot of us as well. She's All That, right? That's Pygmalion, My Fair Lady.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then there were a few Shakespeare. I didn't necessarily know until after the 10 Things I Hate About You was the technically true. I had to put that together.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I'm always putting things together a long time later.
Julia Stiles was in 3 of the Shakespeare teen Shakespeare adaptations.
Dear Lord.
She was in 10 Things I Hate About You. She was in the Ethan Hawke Hamlet, and she was in.
Oh, right, she's Ophelia.
In
Othello.
Yeah, Othello.
She was like the
Tim
modern
Blake Nelson one.
the modern Shakespeare interpretation, like Jamie Lee Curtis of the late 90s.
Uh-huh. Oh, I love Hamlet. That's probably my favorite version of Hamlet. Ethan Hawke.
That was a good one.
Oh, and then of course, Save the Last Dance was based on Two Gentlemen from Verona.
Really?
No.
I was like, what?
No. That was that plague. Oh, a killer.
At number 5 at the box office this week, the adventures of a married couple as they are vexed by misfortune while in New York City for a job interview. Starring the hot young couple of the day, Steve Martin and Goldie Hawn.
Out of towners.
The Out of Towners, yeah. That's the
Their
one.
second. That's the one. What?
That's the one all the kids were going to right after 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah, sneaking
I
into
forgot that came
one.
out that late in the 90s. I thought that was an early.
Same
thing.
here. House
You may
Guest
be
was
thinking
earlier.
of House Sitter, which was also
House
Steve Martin
Sitter.
and Goldie Hawn.
Yeah.
Oh, I probably blend them.
This
That
was
was earlier
This was
90s.
right before they decided Steve Martin needed to star opposite Queen Latifah in every movie.
It works, man. If it works, it works. And it works.
It does.
Yeah, if you don't have chemistry with Steve Martin, that's your problem,
Yeah, exactly.
not his.
That's a good point.
I'm talking
Not having it with Chevy, none of us do.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Martin Short as well. If you can't roll with him, just shut the fuck up. Sit down.
Opening at number 4, the aftermath of a drug deal is told from 3 different points of view. Go. Opening at number 4 for this week.
Rashomon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At number 3 this week, a psychiatrist's number 1 patient is an insecure mob boss.
Analyze this.
Analyze this. Yeah. Which, when the Sopranos was after this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. A year or two.
Yeah. That's like my immediate thought was like, oh, they're just making that movie into a show. But
Got a little darker, yeah.
yeah, it was a little bit tonally different.
But that was, again, sort of the beginning-ish of, like, De Niro is a funny actor. Like, just throw him in the mix. Like, we're going to use the De Niro affect to be a joke.
Mm-hmm.
That's when that started happening. And then, of course, there was the Fockers.
Meet the Fockers.
And all of the Fokker remakes. I don't know if anyone remembers that callback.
Yeah, no, I do. Meet the Fockers 3, like
the original Meet the Fockers, 1972's.
1972's Meet the Fockers, which Meet the Parent was a remake.
So Al contended that just the Fockers one, the one with Barbara Streisand. Dennis Hoffman.
Opening at number 2 this week. A newspaper reporter enrolls in high school as part of research for a story.
Never Been Kissed.
Josie Grossi.
Yeah.
Yep.
Josie Grossi.
Yep. Never Been Kissed. So the poster is funny because it's like Barrymore, Arquette, Molly Shannon.
We made a joke the other night because for some reason I've been wanting to watch The Wedding Singer, just because Steve Buscemi's but it's not on anything. But I was looking at Hulu, I was like, oh, Never Been Kissed and Happy Gilmore. Maybe if we watch them together, it'll become The Wedding.
That's right.
Watch it real fast in succession.
And at number 1 this week, a beautiful stranger leads a computer hacker to a shocking truth.
But not hackers. Hackers.
Enemy of the State?
Conspiracy theory.
No.
The Net.
No. This is a much bigger movie than any of those.
The Matrix?
The Matrix.
Oh, God. I thought that came out in the summer. In April?
It did.
Cool movie.
I saw this opening week not knowing what it was about, and I walked out of the theater like, holy shit, what the fuck was that?
That's crazy that this came out in April. I thought this was like a June release. I mean, Phantom Menace was a June release, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody anticipated
Memorial Day
the
weekend.
response to The Matrix.
No, it was a sleeper hit. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't a tentpole movie. It was just like it was a
word of mouth
sci-fi movie.
Yeah,
cultural zeitgeist moment.
Yeah, exactly.
And trying to make the twin directors, the sibling director thing happen, like the Coen Brothers, which is lightning in a bottle. It's never. But
yeah, the Wachowskis are hit or miss at best. Although, I mean, Speed Racer, better than it should, like better than it had any right to be.
We were talking about our favorite line of dialogue recently. I'm in the Matrix.
Look at me, I'm in the Matrix.
Exactly. Get out of my way.
That is the box office top 10, which brings us to the production of the film itself. Go was directed by Doug Liman, written by John August. John August wrote this as a short film entitled X, and it originally only had the portion about Rana in it. Didn't have the Rashomon aspect. It didn't have the other stories. He was inspired by the Rock and Roll Ralphs on Sunset Boulevard, which is Ralph's grocery store on Sunset that was, very well known.
And one of the older ones, one of the first ones. Yeah,
and old. And gotcha. It was, even in the 90s, it was kind of like an old rundown one, but still right there on Sunset. Everyone went to it.
Not as nice as the ones the dude went to just a year before.
Exactly.
I was curious about just this background on this movie, and they said that they paid the store owners a ton of money to secure the store for filming, and the first thing the store owners did was upgrade everything in the store.
Right.
So the production design had to come redo it so it looked like a movie, like an old beat up grocery store again. So the owners burned all that money.
Yeah, exactly. After his friends started asking about Simon's trip to Vegas, he decided to expand it into a full-length script, putting in that aspect. John August, outside of Go, wrote the 2000 Charlie's Angels and the sequel, Big Fish, Frankenweenie, the 2005 Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Worked with Tim Burton a lot.
Those are good.
Yeah. Has a, let's see, a writing credit on Titan AE. The 2019 Aladdin remake. And is currently working on a film called Toto, the doggone amazing story of the Wizard of Oz.
We're just going after every character from Wizard of Oz. Everyone's
point of view, except for the three dudes with very intense storylines. Like the Tin Man. That's an intense origin story.
I'm still waiting for the Winky movie.
That's true. Where they unionize.
I have some websites I could share with you.
It's a little Winky. It's a little Norma Ray Winky story.
Yeah.
I always thought that Toto and Kansas should form a supergroup called Dorothy.
John August also works as a teacher at USC Film School.
Cool.
Yeah. Doug Liman directed Swingers, of course. That was his premiere film. Which was his first movie was called Getting In, but that one didn't do any sort of business to speak of at all. It was a much smaller film. Swingers was his big break film, of course. Swingers, I always thought that was that. Did Favreau? Yeah, Favreau did write that one. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. And had a lot of input.
Yeah.
But Hollywood wasn't ready to give Happy Hogan this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But boy, when we were. We were.
Favreau played a clown on Seinfeld for one episode.
a great one.
Yeah.
Like, what is this weird obsession with a clown from the 50s?
That dude's career has been a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been wild.
Lyman's follow-up to Go was The Bourne Identity.
What?
Yeah.
That makes so much sense for some reason to my brain. The way that movie looks and the way this movie looks. Because it's like a hot,
secret,
sexy Mission Impossible, you know?
Yeah.
I've never seen a Bourne.
You're not missing much. You know, a guy wakes up in a lake and fights a bunch of people and wins. I don't know.
That old chestnut.
Guy wakes up in a lake.
They're fun. They're fun movies, but
if you wake up in a lake, you're already doing pretty well.
Right.
Are you sure? Who did I watch all those Bournes with?
All those Bournes? Not me. Maybe your side
I've seen
piece.
all of them.
I have not.
Well, eventually
I used to
Jeremy
think
Renner.
Matt Damon was a real Mary, but he's kicking ass in this
Oh
one.
yeah, it was one point when they were trying to make Jeremy Renner a leading man, and they were like, maybe he can be a Bourne.
Yeah.
Nope.
He's
we were
also
wrong.
Jason Bourne. No one remembers who he is, even himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, those movies got worse and worse as they went on.
We have covered one Doug Liman film on this show before, Jumper, the Hayden Christensen movie where he can teleport. Yeah.
That could have benefited from being more grounded like this.
Yeah, that wasn't a great movie. But he also made The Edge of Tomorrow, which is a pretty good movie.
Is that the time travel Tom Cruise one?
Yep. Yeah,
With Emily Blunt?
the Alien Invasion Groundhog's Day. Yeah.
Did he make 24 Hour? No, that was Danny Boyle.
Yeah, yeah.
24-hour party people.
No, that wasn't Danny Boyle.
It wasn't?
No. 24-hour party people was someone else.
It's a really good movie. For some reason, I thought it was Doug Liman.
Wasn't Doug Liman. 24-hour party people was directed by Michael Winterbottom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good movie, dude.
It is. He's most recently directed the Roadhouse remake this year.
Wild. I still haven't seen it.
No, neither have I. I wouldn't.
He also
Because
did
the story. Go ahead.
He also did Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah, he
which
did.
was a good one.
The movie.
The remake.
Yeah. The movie which broke up our Pittiston, America's Sweethearts.
A movie about the two worst spies ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't even know. Or the best? I don't know.
They're the most medium spies ever.
They're really good at keeping secrets, just not finding out secrets.
You're right.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not an investigator. I just creep around.
I mean, fair. August, the writer John August, specifically approached his producers to hire Liman after watching Swingers. Liman was originally going to be making Heartbreakers right after Swingers. That's the movie with
Sigourney Weaver and Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah.
Jason Lee.
Yeah.
Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Exactly. That ended up being directed by David Merkin. Weird. Yeah. But he thought that was he thought that it was not a great, it was too big budget for a comedy. So
Agreed.
yeah.
And I don't even know its budget, but money doesn't help a comedy.
Yeah. It's funny. It says in Wikipedia, it says when August began shopping Go, big film studios were still buying spec scripts.
Yep.
Oof.
Yeah. Remember when you could actually break into the industry?
Yeah.
And you didn't have to fight Dakota Johnson in the octagon.
Or attend a bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, no, but even that's at least plucked nowadays, they're either British or related to somebody.
Doug,
there's 200 people in Hollywood now.
Yeah, the best way into the industry is through a womb.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, let's
kicking
be
and
clear.
screaming into the world.
The best way to success in America is through the womb. And,
That's true. That's true. We're all about dynasties.
Yeah,
always has been.
Yeah. John August credited Jim Jarmusch's Mystery Train and, of course, Pulp Fiction as inspiring the structure of this film. It was kind of a thing. I remember even at the time they were like, "Oh, it's a teenage Pulp Fiction."
Yeah.
Also, I see the Jarmusch stuff, the people crossing paths.
Yeah.
Having interesting conversations for moments.
It's hard to explain to people who are too young to remember that, kind of before the early 90s indie boom, that kind of movie simply didn't really exist in the mainstream.
Yeah. Movies were told in order.
Yes.
Yeah, the whole non-linear storytelling, and then also the other very hallmark of 90s is that most of the dialogue is not really plot driven. The dialogue is very just mundane stuff.
Yeah.
And then the idea of pop culture references within a movie also didn't start popping up until the 90s. Movies didn't talk about other movies before.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
The meta thing.
Right. Royale with cheese was a seminal moment.
Yes.
Yes. So the film, it didn't have a humongous budget. Of course, it was originally given a budget of $3 million that ballooned to 20.
Wow.
God.
Yeah.
Do you think that was paychecks?
No.
There's not a lot of set pieces or anything.
Well,
to go to Vegas.
The car. So they wanted them to cut the car chase completely. The studio asked them to. They said there wasn't enough money. So instead, what Lyman did was spend something like 2/3 of their budget on the car chase sequence. And then what's that?
1/3.
1/3. I'm sorry. 1/3 of their budget on the car chase sequence. And then resorted to guerrilla filmmaking and cost-cutting measures for the entire rest of the film.
Hey, and it only lost them $17 million additional dollars. What a great plan.
Yeah.
It's a great scene. They needed it.
It works. I was not invested in this movie my first watch through until Steppenwolf started to play. And I was like, oh, okay, this movie's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It took that long for me to get hooked by this movie.
That was the thing. Well, that remix of
yeah,
that got played a lot in the clubs around that time.
But yeah, it's a
cool
real redemptive moment for Taye Diggs' character,
Yeah.
Everybody mistaking him for the help. And he's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna take this guy.
Yeah, it's interesting the confrontation of institutional racism in this film, considering that it's not a film of color in any way.
Mm-hmm.
We just started talking about that shit as well in pop culture. The black character being murdered first, kind of stuff we started pointing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Taye Diggs couldn't drive a car.
Mm-hmm.
He was from New York and was unable to drive, did not know how. So they had to teach
That's
him
great.
so he could drive that.
The same thing happened with Pacino, The Godfather 2, and he just has a few scenes of driving. He's usually being driven, but he had no clue.
Yeah.
I wonder how close to filming you get before the actor's like, look, I got to tell you, I've never been behind the wheel of a car. Please don't put me behind the wheel of this $200,000 car.
Well, so Taye Diggs got cast in this directly out of Rent. He was a New Yorker. He never needed to learn to drive.
Yeah.
Directly out of Rent on Broadway.
On Broadway.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, my Grandpa Terry's mother, same deal. Manhattan her entire life. She passed away at 90 something, having never driven a car. Never.
Wow. I love driving, but I can't imagine not having to drive. It just sounds idyllic.
Yeah. No, I simultaneously want to live out in the middle of nowhere and in a city center so that I don't have to be around anybody and also never need to drive. I can walk to the baguette vendor directly below my apartment.
Yeah. I want a train that comes directly to my country home.
Yeah, exactly.
But then doesn't run when I'm not on it.
Yeah. By all accounts, Japan is the place to be for that. Like, they have trains to like villages of 3 people.
Dude, you can buy property in Japan for wildly cheap amounts of money, and I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's such a tiny island.
Oh, we were watching a House Hunters, and they were in Japan, and like the houses were like $20,000 they were looking at. It was crazy.
Yeah. I saw one with like a large plot in this really cute village not far from Kyoto, and it was like 11 grand.
Yeah, it's crazy. But like apparently in Japan, like
I'm gonna go learn Japanese.
Home ownership isn't like a thing. They don't intend to keep a home for like 40 years. Like they intend to live there for like 5 to 10 years and then get a different house. It's a weird cultural thing.
They've captured the American dream instead of it being a vehicle for wealth. It's just a thing that you can own.
Yeah, basically.
Right.
Like,
and
I
then
need
commodity
a house is not the American dream. I have a house is the American
No,
dream.
I hope I live long enough to get this from the bank.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody owns a home.
No.
Except the wealthy.
No, nobody ever owns a home because if you can't, even if you pay it off, if you don't pay your taxes, they're still going to take it away if you don't pay the taxes. Yep.
Right. But imagine the old days. It was a commodity. It was equity. It was something you owned.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could sell it. Now you can't sell it. There's so many middlemen involved.
Oh God, yeah. So originally, in casting, the script started getting passed around among young Hollywood at the time, and apparently there was a lot of young actors wanting to get in on it. Rana was supposed to be played. Rana was written as African American. It's unclear whether the studio was like, no, one black person's enough for this movie. It was 1999, but nonetheless, Sarah Pauli had only been in The Sweet Hereafter prior to this, and she got cast right out of that. She turned it down initially, and Christina Ricci was their second choice. But they eventually convinced Pauli to take it. As I said, Taye Diggs got cast directly out of Rent. Katie Holmes, the only thing she had shot prior to this was the pilot for Dawson's Creek, which had not yet aired when this began filming.
This is before Dawson's Creek.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I know this is a podcast, but I'd like to take this moment to point out your Zoom background there, Thoreau. Is that a showcase of 1999 WB?
Yeah, this is 90s WB stars.
I'm seeing Buffy. I'm seeing Shannon Doherty. Reba's up in there.
We got Felicity over here, yeah.
Dawson's Creek, Supernatural.
Yeah. Some guy, I don't know who the guy is over here. This dude.
Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yeah.
I think it's from like Everwood.
The Spin Doctors and John Popper.
Rusted Roots in there somewhere.
Yeah, they're in there somewhere.
Yeah. Let's see. Timothy Oliphant auditioned. Yeah. Auditioned and originally wasn't able to take the film because he was supposed to shoot Practical Magic, but then he got fired from Practical Magic. Unclear for what reason. Nicole
Kidman, maybe? Wasn't that her?
Selling ecstasy.
Yeah, I think it was for smoking, for just being too damn hot.
Yeah.
That guy has aged so well. Seeing him
yeah.
What is this, like 24, 25? And then seeing him now, and it's like at no point in this man's life did he ever hit the skids. He's just up and up.
Yeah.
Danny Cordray, he holds the final Dundee for hottest in the office.
That's right.
Yep.
Well deserved.
So Jennifer Coolidge was good friends with the casting director, Joseph Middleton, and she convinced him to cast Melissa McCarthy in that small role. This is Melissa McCarthy's first screen appearance, because Coolidge was a member of the Groundlings and knew Melissa McCarthy through that.
Awesome.
Yeah. So our cast, speaking of our cast, as we said. So we have got Sarah Polley as Rana. Like I said, Sarah Polley was really... She had a bunch of small film roles, like since a child. She was in The Adventures of Baron Munchausen? I had no idea. The Sweet Hereafter, she made right before this. After this, she made Existenz, which was one of those... it was a David Cronenberg movie, but it was one of those VR movies from the late 90s.
You guys talked about her in Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
She's excellent in that.
Yeah, she was in Dawn of the Dead. And she's known better. I don't know if she's known better these days, but she is well known these days as a writer.
And director.
Yeah, and director. Women Talking. She won an Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay for Women Talking.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
She made that one with Seth Rogen and Sarah Silverman. I can't remember, but it wasn't bad.
I'm not sure. She's only credited on, let's see, Take This Waltz and Away From Her.
That's the one. Take This Waltz is the one I was talking about.
I haven't seen either of those. Women Talking was my introduction to her as a writer-director. Away From Her, she got nominated for a screenplay, though. A screenplay Oscar. Okay, so William Fichtner as Burke Halverson. He's one of those guys that you're like, oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you think you know his name, and then you see his name, you're like, I thought it was like Chris Cooper or something.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see, Virtuosity, Heat, Strange Days. That's two VR movie, 90s VR movies he was in. Perfect
He's
Storm.
played a decent bad guy.
Yeah. Black Hawk Down. Yeah, like just character actor extraordinaire.
Got a good asshole face.
Yeah.
A little rat face kind of.
The moment they showed him on screen, I was like, he's a cop.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Such a fucking cop.
He has resting cop face.
Yeah. He's the perfect, he plays the perfect cop who thinks he's successfully undercover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just the right kind of smarmy asshole to be like, no one would ever suspect me of being a cop.
Yeah, exactly.
I love drugs. See how clean I am?
I love drugs. I'm wearing Nike shoes.
You can find clips on YouTube of like cops undercover walking through like black and Latino neighborhoods and just getting roasted.
Guys,
know where I can get some meth? Man, get the fuck out. Get out of here, boy. And of course they're all buff. They look like, I love meth. No, you do not.
No, you don't.
Look how large you are.
Now they're wearing cargo pants and athletic, like stretchy shirts. It's like, oh yeah. Yep. Sure, guy.
Bandana. Nobody totes bandanas. It'll just be like, oh, okay. Are you a blood?
A white guy with a Cuban link on.
Are you a jet, buddy?
Yeah. One of the Van Buren boys.
Desmond Askew plays Simon. Let's see. He's best known for Go, The Hills Have Eyes, and 7 episodes of Roswell. He's also done a lot of video game voice acting, apparently. Call of Duty Black Ops 2, Elder Scrolls Online, Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. That fucking series.
I don't get it.
Raccoon City. Well, yeah, he seems to have a decent, like, Irish accent because it's not too thick, but it'll, traffic skew. All right.
Yeah.
So I could see the voice acting, I guess, was my point.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just enough British.
Scott Wolf is Adam. Of course, he was our other WB star in this from Party of Five.
Party of Five. I could not place him the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Party of Five. We saw him in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Was he in the arcade gang?
He was in the arcade gang. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Renner's Arcade was so boss. I wish I could have hung out there. His youth center.
A couple of his breakouts were Double Dragon and White Squall prior to Party of Five. Since then, he hasn't done much film-wise. He's done mostly TV.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, since Party of Five, he has been an episode or a series regular on Everwood, The Nine, V, NCIS, Kaijudo, Perception, The Night Shift, Voltron Legacy Defender, and of course, he did 10 episodes co-hosting live with Kelly Ripa.
Since you pointed out
soap opera people, that makes sense.
Since you pointed out the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, William Fichtner was in a different Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Yes, he was.
Yes.
Right.
He was the bad guy in the newer one.
The 20 teens.
Yeah. The Turtleverse.
And also The Dark Knight.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
He's the guy
I was like,
gets.
Yes.
The bank manager.
Yeah.
right. You're all dead. Yes. In my mind, I was trying to remember having seen him recently where he's yelling. That's it. The Dark Knight. Okay. Thank you, Al. Placed it for me.
Scott Wolf played himself in an episode of BoJack Horseman, and that was hilarious.
I hope he was a wolf.
God, he must have been.
No, it'd be funnier if he wasn't.
Be funny if he were a sheep.
It was the episode where Diane has their sexual misconduct allegations against Hank Hippopopoulos. And when Mr. Peanut Butter starts his game show with JD Salinger hosting. Hollywood people, what do they know? Do they know things? Let's find out.
Mr. Peanut Butter.
No, Hollywood people. Anyways. Jay Moore played Zach. Apparently, they weren't going to cast Jay Moore, but they happened to see him just talking to Scott Wolf and liked their chemistry. Jay Moore, let's see, Jerry Maguire is kind of...
Hell yeah. But Saturday Night Live.
SNL, that's right, he was an SNL guy.
I think he was on SNL at this time.
93 to 95.
93 to 95. Yeah, he was like, he and Norm were really close.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was around that time. Tim Meadows, Chris Farley, Normie.
That was, yeah. It was the period just right after I stopped watching.
He's in that sketch where that cast was leaving. a lot of those members were leaving, so they had that sketch where they jump into the polar bear pit. I don't know if you remember that. It's a great sketch. That's how they wrote him off the show, just murdered by polar bears.
I mean, that's hilarious.
I love it. Yeah.
Jay Moore, let's see. Also, he was in Small Soldiers, The Adventures of Pluto Nash. Lucky him. Recently,
he was like the T.J. Miller of his time.
Yeah, kind of. He's most recently he was in
Sarcastic.
He was in Air, the Air Jordan movie with
Oh yeah. That was a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And has been doing a lot of TV.
Was also in a episode of BoJack Horseman.
Yeah. I mean,
that fits.
Yeah. Yeah. The Zach Braff episode of BoJack Horseman was hilarious when he plays the butler, but he's playing himself as the butler on roller skates. No, and Andrew Garfield. Wait a minute. You're telling me Andrew Garfield loves lasagna and hates Mondays?
Why do you have a picture of President Garfield? Because I love lasagna.
Timothy Oliphant.
If you've never seen Smiley Face with Anna Faris, treat yourself. It's one of the best stoner movies that they've made.
Timothy Oliphant plays Todd. We mentioned him already. He was in Scream 2. Right before this, Gone in 60 Seconds. Oh my God. We did that movie on this show.
We did Gone in 60 Seconds?
We did Gone in 60 Seconds. It's like a reverse. I forgot. It's like a reverse. What is the movie we haven't done that we've done?
There are no movies that we haven't done.
Galaxy Quest.
That
It's
we did Galaxy Quest. Josh and I vouch for it.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
And there's no possible way we did Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah, that I don't believe.
Did we do like a Nick Cage series or something? Who picked that?
I think it was just I can't remember.
Oh, it was a monthly movie.
I'm pretty sure it was a monthly movie, yeah.
We did Scream 2, Josh and I.
Yeah. Yeah. Patreon.com/harmless entertainment.
Yes.
If you want to listen to that. Yeah.
Of course, he's Raylan. I can't remember his last name, but Justified is a really great show.
Justified, yeah.
I've never watched it.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched it.
It's good. Walton Goggins, Alan Tudyk. Towards the last few seasons, all kinds of actors are in it.
He was also in Deadwood.
Yeah, Deadwood's how I know him.
And Fargo.
Yeah, that's true.
Fargo.
He was great in Fargo because in Justified he's a marshal, and then in Fargo he plays a marshal in 1950, the Mormon.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're very polite.
The voice.
It's the way you're polite.
He's the voice of Flanders' grandpa in the Serious Flanders Fargo episode thing, the like double episode Netflix special thing that it's one of the best Simpsons things in the modern era. But Timothy Oliphant plays his grandpa, who's like a corrupt cop. That's why he plays it.
He also is Cobb Vanth in both The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett.
The Marshal.
Yep.
And he plays himself as playing his Justified character in The Good Place. Because he's who Maya Rudolph's character as God fantasizes about.
That's right. That conversation's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
He was in that Drew Barrymore show on Netflix, the Santa Clarita Diet. There's zombies.
He's the husband, right?
Not a great show, but he just delivers.
Yeah, he's so good in that. Yeah. Katie Holmes as Claire. Like I said, this was right before Dawson's Creek. She was in the Ice Storm prior to this.
We had her in a Batman movie.
Disturbing Behavior. We saw her in Batman Begins. She was right after Batman Begins. She got cruised, and she was replaced with Maggie Gyllenhaal. Yeah.
I honestly never noticed.
I didn't realize until we watched it through that that was supposed to be the same character.
Katie Holmes is very boring and stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was not great in Batman Begins. She's
not great.
Fine in this. Just fine.
Yeah, she plays that girl pretty well.
When you mentioned Christina Ricci of like having been a choice for the Rana character, I was thinking Christina Ricci would have been great as the Katie Holmes character.
Yeah.
That would have worked well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you kind of get the feeling that Christina Ricci's down to clown. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like that, hanging out with the drug, that could go anywhere with that.
Yeah,
character.
absolutely.
But
Whereas
you needed some girl that you could tell just doesn't get down.
Yeah.
Someone who's not cool.
Yeah, exactly. As we mentioned, Taye Diggs is Marcus. He got cast in this out of Rent. He was a Broadway guy to start with. Rent, Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
Chicago, which then he was in the movie Chicago.
Yeah, exactly. He was also in How Stella Got Her Groove Back.
He's Hal.
Yep.
Yeah.
He is Hal.
He played the Hal.
And Malibu's Most Wanted. Oh my God.
That movie.
He was a series regular in Murder in the First.
Wait, was Breckenmeyer in Malibu's Most Wanted?
No, I don't
think so.
No,
that's Jamie Kennedy.
Just Jamie Kennedy. Yeah, that seems
But
like
Breckenmeyer played the little like wiggy white boy and other things too.
Yes,
yeah, that
that's
was.
why you're thinking of
he
it.
got cast.
Oh, Clueless, right? Isn't he?
Yes.
I mean, Breckenmeyer, Clueless, and then in Can't Hardly Wait, he's a very similar character to what he is in this.
Yes.
In Clueless, he's a stoner.
The Craft.
I'll just say this was the right amount of Breckenmeyer. I'll say that.
Yes.
He's funny, but then he's not really in it much.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, as we mentioned, Breckenmeyer plays Tiny. We just mentioned a bunch of stuff he was in. He was also John Arbuckle in the live-action Garfield movies.
That fits.
Wow.
Yeah. Garfield.
Fine enough to become Arbuckle.
Yeah. Yeah.
He lived long enough to become the Arbuckle.
He also played the same kind of character in Escape from L.A.
Damn, that movie's good.
How old was he in that?
Escape from L.A.
That was 90s.
Yeah, he started young. He pops up in random things as like a
So he had to have
tween.
been like 13 or 14.
No, he's 2 years
No.
older than me and Al. So,
Okay.
No, and Escape from New York was first, and that was almost a decade earlier.
Escape from L.A.
Before
was
he-
96.
Oh, 96. I was thinking it was like 93.
Yeah. Escape from New York was much earlier, and that's what makes LA, because like Carpenter decided to be wackier with it. This eye patch Snake Plissken. They're like, yeah, this is ridiculous. Steve Buscemi plays an awesome character in it. I think Pee Wee Herman's in that. I think Paul Rubens
is in Escape from L.A.
I think so.
I mean, it could be. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Because it's like it's sort of a Mad Max type future.
We should that's got to be on a list somewhere.
The Escape
Is it
movies.
just the two
Yeah,
of
we
them?
should.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
just
there's two.
Yeah. Nice short.
Save us from the 7 movie series.
They're so
Yeah,
wild.
I apologize and thank you for your patience.
Snake Plissken sounds like the toughest accountant at the firm.
James Duvall played Sing. That's the guy that ate the shrimp with Tiny. He's the kid. He played Uncle Cousin Randy's kid in Independence Day.
That's where I
Oh, that's right.
from.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
I kept thinking I've seen this guy's face 100 times and I don't know where.
And he also
That's
played
right.
the
So we
guy.
did.
He also plays the guy that gets killed in Donnie Darko. He played Frank. Becomes Frank. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't gone back and watched that in 20 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I saw it about a year or two ago. Again, it's. I don't want to say it holds up, but it's. There was a period of time where I was like, no, maybe that sucks, and now it's like, no, this is all right. I see its appeal.
It's worth showing to a new generation.
It's its own thing.
He also played John the Mod in SLC Punk.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And he was in Gone in 60 Seconds. We've seen this kid a lot.
He's fast.
He is.
But not furious.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry, I misspoke. He was gone in 60 seconds. Career.
Sing.
No, he played a studio grip in BoJack Horseman. Woo!
I love the credit for that in IMDb. It's executive grip.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm not the grip. I'm the
holy
executive.
shit! Did we know that? Wait, there was a sequel to SLC Punk.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I never even heard of that.
I like executive grip as well.
Yeah, no.
He's like, I don't hold anything. It's like, wait.
I tell people to hold things.
We watched Tropic Thunder a couple nights ago. When he has he's like, who's the head grip? Because he knew the guy with the biggest arms.
Yeah.
Now punch him in the face really hard. Dude's like, sorry.
I think that's Tom Cruise's best role. I do.
I mean, I like Tom Cruise, but that is, he finally had fun. Yeah, with himself.
You can see him. Yeah. I think he hasn't had that much fun until like the second Top Gun. And maybe the like more recent Mission Impossible movies.
But I bet it was a tense set because of his professionalism. Like, he doesn't like any joking or clowning when the cameras aren't rolling. So just imagine having to be Bill Hader, you know? And like you're responding to all these hilarious people, but you've got to be like, no goofing around.
Yeah. J.E. Freeman plays Victor Sr. This is a dude that only plays mob bosses, except when we saw him recently playing Dr. Mason in Alien Resurrection.
That's right. Yeah.
He looks exactly like the dude from that pawn shop show. And I thought it was the same guy. It's Vegas. No,
he does, but he
was off. This guy was in Miller's Crossing. He was really good in that.
Yeah, Miller's Crossing. He played Eddie the Dane in Miller's Crossing. Marcellus Santos in Wild at Heart.
Oh right, Santos.
Yep. And he got nominated for Best Actor for playing Teach in David Mamet's American Buffalo.
Oh. That's an underrated Mamet play.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't seen that. I'm going to check that out.
Jimmy Schubert played Victor Jr. He is best known for being in King of Queens and Entourage. He was also in...
I think Entourage is the thing I recognized him from.
Yeah.
Not that I watched Entourage. I've just seen those assholes on enough bits.
An Entourage is like a family. Just like in that HBO series, John Adams.
He also did an episode of Angel, and mostly TV. Dude does TV. And then to our glorified cameos, as we mentioned, Melissa McCarthy as Sandra. This was her screen debut. Of course, she would go on to be Melissa McCarthy. We talked about her.
Not really a cameo when it's your first run on screen.
She's so cute.
Yeah, no, that's a bit part, not a cameo.
Yeah, exactly.
She is effervescent, man.
So cute.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah. Right after this, she got cast in Charlie's Angels and then Gilmore Girls.
And Mike and Molly, right?
Yeah.
Like a
yeah.
rocket, man.
Never saw a second.
Her
and then Bridesmaids happened.
Bridesmaids, yep. Her and what's her face? Gunn, the Gunn brother in Gilmore Girls. James Gunn's brother. What's his name?
Sean Gunn.
Sean Gunn. Her and Sean Gunn in Gilmore Girls were a great couple.
Yeah.
That show's good.
Yeah, it is. And Jane Krakowski as Irene Halverson.
Jenna.
Yeah, a little baby Jane Krakowski. She was in Ally McBeal.
Ally McBeal. Yeah, that's the first.
Yeah.
Well, I almost said that's the first time I saw her. The first time I saw her was in National Lampoon's Vacation.
Exactly.
Oh my God, that's right.
And I French kiss. Everybody does that. But Daddy says I'm the best at it.
Woo.
And then when they play it on cable, they change it to "Teacher says I'm the best at it."
Is that better?
Like that one thing is better.
That's what standards of practice is bullshit.
Oh my God, she played the daughter in Fatal Attraction.
Oh,
crazy.
She looks, yeah.
Did we do that movie?
No, we have not done.
No,
we did.
We did Basic Instinct.
Basic Instinct.
Basic Instinct. Thank you.
Where Newman sees a vagina and loses it.
Yeah. But yeah, the turn of the 90s, Michael Douglas is a cheating douchebag, kind of oeuvre.
And sexy.
Michael Douglas is so sexy it threatens everyone's lives.
Yeah, exactly. But also can't stop smoking.
Gordon the Gecko.
And of course, she played Betty in the Flintstones Viva Rock Vegas.
And then 30 Rock and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
30 Rock and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt is what I think of her for at this point.
Yeah, she's just a sitcom actor, like Gold Star.
And Broadway, a lot of Broadway.
Yeah, yeah. In Unbreakable
the entire
Kimmy
steel
Schmidt,
industry.
In the first scene she's in Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, where she opens the fridge, takes out a water ball, and just casually throws it directly into the garbage.
Like, would you like water? No, thank you. Boom.
That is about it for the back. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the soundtrack. This was one of those 90s movies that the soundtrack was super big. The music itself, the non-needle drop music, was by BT, who is an electronica artist. Probably his biggest, I won't want to call it a hit, but his biggest song was Dreaming. He was I actually saw him at a rave in the late 90s. But
nice.
He also assembled the soundtrack. The soundtrack has a number of songs that were new for this movie. The Magic Carpet Ride remix was for this film. The No Doubt song "New" was for this film, and "Steal My Sunshine" by Len was new for this film.
Awesome.
Yes, that fucking song, the song that made me think, wow, anyone can just be a singer.
Yep.
If you steal my sunshine.
Steal my sunshine.
The Fat Boy Slim song "Gangster Trippin'" was also for this film.
It's crazy listening to this soundtrack in the movie and realizing how much of 90s like alternative rock and pop was sample based.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
There was a period in the late 90s where there was like 30 hit songs that all had that same drum loop, the boom chicka boom boom chicka boom boom. Whatever, I don't know which sample that is. It's not the amen break, but slowed down.
Yeah.
Well, all of the like electronic music, techno, all that kind of stuff was particularly technology driven.
Yeah.
So like as soon as the next device or piece of technology as opposed to other organic musical forms, it was like, shit, now we can do this.
Yeah.
It was really hip hop inspired.
Right.
Very British.
Yeah, no. The computer DAW is what really.
Yeah, the computer aspect of it. Hip hop uses it more artistically.
Yeah. Once you got away from actually having to just use like separate samplers, once your PC could be the sampler, that's when that really started blowing up.
I mean, a lot of this stuff is MPC. A lot of this stuff is still, these guys had an MPC in the studio and they went, can we use that? Like,
yeah, absolutely. I just recently re-listened to Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill. Half the songs in that have drum loops. It's crazy.
Good album.
Yeah, yeah, very good album.
Best album about doing it with Dave Coulier in public. That's been.
Oh yeah, weird.
But not the only one.
Not the only one.
It's the best one.
Yeah. Tommy's The Who was also.
I think it's weird to look back at that era. And
The Who's Tommy.
That's the defining feature of all that music, though, is that electronic vein that runs throughout it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because at the time, I didn't think anything of it. I was too young.
I mean, I noticed it. I was old enough. We were old enough that like once after post grunge, there was the mid 90s post grunge, which quickly became this having this electronic vein
house
to
music
it.
kind of.
Yeah, like very quickly after grunge.
Oh, I remember raves. And of course, we all remember it, but I mean, I remember specific ones going to. Never was I there for the music, ironically.
No, it was.
You guys have all
been the girls and the drugs.
Right? What's that?
You what?
You guys have all been to a rave. I missed my one opportunity in like 7th grade. I'm so glad I didn't go. Oh my God.
I DJ'd at a few raves around 99, 2000.
I never did ecstasy.
I don't think I've been to a proper rave. There were rave type things at like the DPC.
Informal raves.
Oh, I see what you mean. No,
but like
there was really you weren't with
party that throws up in a warehouse. Gets thrown up in a warehouse. No.
Yeah, no, I've been.
I know Jerry was with me. There was one on 6th Avenue in this downstairs in this basement that was huge.
Yes.
Near the alley, the 6th Avenue alley.
There was one in the downtown event center used to hold a lot of raves, a lot of them in the basement of the downtown event center. The abandoned Shoe City, there were a number of them there. There were some at the Greyhound, Greyhound.
Yes, the old Greyhound station.
Yeah, the whole Greyhound. There was quite a few at Cowtown, out in the middle of nowhere in the desert.
Key Loco, just southeast. Key Loco, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I went to a couple desert raves.
Yeah,
I mean those were just thrown together, keg party type situations, but lights and music.
Yeah.
Raves were on the downturn when I started going to punk shows, and punk shows were the big thing by the time I was going out.
A lot of punk shows. Yeah, like Al mentioned, the DPC. Oh man,
the DPC. Yeah, yeah.
Somebody ought to write a book. There's a cool Facebook page.
I remember pre-Dookie, Green Day played the DPC.
Oh yeah. Oh, name a band.
Yeah, exactly. The soundtrack to Go was one of those ones that had a sequel soundtrack, like go-to music from and inspired by the film.
Inspired by.
I loved the inspired.
I got hit by a Miata.
Yeah.
I flew like a pinata.
Go has 91% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, 78% audience score.
All right.
It was not reviewed by Siskel and Ebert, but Roger Ebert did write a review.
Okay.
He gave it 3 out of 4 stars. The 4-star always bugs me. There needs to be a 5th. 4 stars.
Why couldn't he still do thumbs? An individual can still have a thumbs up or thumbs down. So when you were, it's like he gave it a 3. I thought you were going to say thumb.
3 thumbs up. Most
3 out of 4 thumbs agree.
Roger Ebert starts by writing, sooner or later, the statute of limitations has to run out on comparisons between new movies and pulp fiction. He does end up saying, go as energy and wit. The performances are right for the material, especially Sarah Polley, who thinks fast and survives harrowing experiences. Lyman shows here, as he did in Swingers, that he has a good eye and can create screwy characters. Can he break out of Quentin Tarantino land?
What year did Pulp Fiction come out?
94.
94.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
It's a little too soon to be making the statute of limitations joke.
Yeah. I mean, 5.
Yeah, but it's also like, that's like, I know you mentioned about the whole car chase thing and stuff like that, but that might be also part of why the budget went from 3 to 20 million. Like, there was that element after Pulp Fiction of like, let's find these cool young directors who've got this Tarantino style, like how like Mallrats turned into being like a $25 million picture when it should have been a $3 million picture, but it was part of the like, this kid's like Tarantino.
Exactly.
Let's throw a bunch of money.
The hype, the auteur filmmaking came back.
They had to pay Stan Lee so much money for that cameo.
And then the effect ended up being making like movies that could have been more naturalistic, looking more studio-ified.
Yeah.
Well, and again, now we call it Tarantino-esque, but the Kurosawa type storytelling.
Yeah. The Rashomon.
The non-linear, you said.
Yeah.
Well, not just the different points of view, but a lot of Kurosawa movies will start at the beginning or start at the end battle and go forward and shit like that.
Yeah, non-linear.
But now that's called Tarantino-esque, you know?
Yeah, when Tarantino copied it from Kurosawa.
And others,
Yeah.
You know what other movie this one reminds me of is Run Lola Run.
Oh, yeah.
Like similar vibe, like same story, different perspectives.
Cinematography's kind of similar too.
Yeah.
A heroine that you're rooting for who just has like a very basic task that she needs to accomplish. Yeah.
Yeah, Run Lola Run. Wow, just came out the year before this. Huh. Yeah. That's about it. Guys, are we ready to jump into the movie?
Hey, Macarena.
Hi.
Nobody's going to say, let's go.
It was right there.
I love it when we don't
Did you
think of the most obvious thing.
I was in Europe when the Macarena, that song came out, and the dance. Every club.
I bet. Yeah.
Because nobody was ironically into it. We were all just into it. We're like, this is a dance white people can do.
I don't know what it's about, but I'm all about it.
Like, tell me the twist is a good song.
Right. All right, here we go. This is Go. We open on Katie Holmes talking to an unseen person about Christmas gifts at a diner, delivering a high school play level monologue.
Yeah, and yes.
Then we cut to a grocery store. We meet Rana. She's working the register. She's checking out a mom who's had enough.
She's had enough, man. Those eye bags.
Yeah.
The important part of that monologue was surprises.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Surprises.
The Katie Holmes.
Yeah. No, thematic. No. As written, it's not a high school level monologue. It was delivered by Katie Holmes as a high school level monologue.
But she's
It's a
also
good way to
supposed
sum
be,
up her
16?
performances.
Yeah. Yeah. She's supposed to be 16, 17. Sure.
It definitely fits. I thought it fit.
I wish she was just doing the Vince Vaughn dialogue from Swingers. You don't know me. You don't know my address.
You're so money and you don't even know it.
And you're totally unaware.
The opening, the non-Katie Holmes opening scene, but the grocery store opening scene, I think sets the tone well of kind of like where Rana's at in her life. She is in a dead-end job, and the dead-endedness of it is punctuated by the like cranky mom who says like, I used to have your job, and she's like, and look how far it got you. And like that's the best she has to look forward to.
Vibe.
It just occurred to me now that she was lying about being 17 to the cop because she has an apartment and this is like her job.
Oh,
I think that maybe she wasn't lying, though. I also think that there's a 90s element to. I think because she also emphasizes, I have no family, I have no one to go to. I think there is, maybe she was like 18, 19, but I had always gotten the vibe like she is someone
20s.
who moved out on her own, and then Katie Holmes still lives at home. And just has a grocery store job. And Rana is working the grocery store job for survival.
I had 2 or 3 friends as a kid that had apartments at 16,
I moved out at
17,
16.
full-time jobs. Yeah.
Which is also
17.
Yeah. A very like there's things in here that are sort of like you still could do that. You could get an apartment without a credit check. You could
But I feel like she pulled that card on the cop, but she could still just be 18.
Yeah, sure.
You know, but I think it was like that added little, okay, I flushed the shit.
Yeah.
I need to get out of this house.
Oh, yeah.
What would scare a cop more than breaking
She's
the
definitely
law?
under 21.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But her shift ends. She heads to the break room to clock out. We meet Claire and Simon. Simon is British, Irish.
He's British, and when he meets the chicks at the wedding, he puts on an Irish accent.
Oh, okay, fair enough, because that's what I remember. Yeah, they're making fun of his.
It's real thick. When he meets those girls.
Irish brogue.
Yeah, he's trying to get someone to take his shift. He tries to get Rana to take it. He wants to go to Vegas with his friends. She's initially refuses. She's about to get evicted because she owes back rent. He offers her cash up front, and she agrees to take his shift and heads back inside.
$200. That's how she got it.
Yeah.
And so what? She's going to pay him that back because she's clocking in, so she's getting the hourly.
No, he pays her up front.
No, he pays her up front because she needs it by tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
Then what? She has to pay him that back because she's going to make the money. Anyways,
but she's not going to make $200 in a single shift at a supermarket in 1999 either. So I think it was him giving her extra as an enticement.
There you go, extra, incentive.
Yeah,
money up front was an odd way to put it for an hourly shift exchange.
But this sets up the problem. This is a movie about trying to get $380.
Yeah,
this is what the goal of the movie is. Try to get $380.
I've been there.
Remember how much money that seemed in 1999?
Oh my God! Yeah.
Now it's a trip to Costco.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. Now it's a single crate of laundry detergent at Costco because it's a good deal for that much laundry detergent.
It is a really good deal for that. Yeah, I'm not complaining. Such is the way of the world, but yeah, $380. That was like, I'll never be able to come up with $380.
Isn't it
Sleeping
crazy?
on couches.
Isn't it crazy how much and how little $100 is? Anyways,
yeah.
Being adult's the worst. So anyways, she gets the cash. She goes back to work. Her, Claire, and their coworker, Manny.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even talk about that dude. He is so forgettable. I didn't even mention him in the cast list.
Yeah, he does. His performance is great. But I forgot about him.
Manny, a.k.a. store brand Johnny Depp.
Or Balthazar Getty. He's like that guy.
Is played by Nathan Baxton. Nathan Baxton is best known. Let's see. Psycho Beach Party.
And he was in Nowhere, like everyone who was acting at all in 1997.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would
That
love
movie's
to do
bonkers.
Psycho Beach Party sometime. It's fun.
That was no, it really was.
Silence grips the room.
No, it was. It was a really fun movie. Let's see. Yeah, he's a bunch of stuff people haven't heard about. Children of the Corn 666, Isaac's Return. Yeah, his career's been meh. Anyways, Go is definitely his biggest role. Yeah, Manny, Claire, and Rana sit in the cooler and play the dead celebrity game to decide who has to work the register. Note, Omar Sharif was not dead in 1999.
Yeah, he died in 2015.
That's part of the fun of the game.
Right.
No, dude, seriously.
There was no way to check.
Right.
If everyone believed it, it was fine. It was true. Yeah.
If there wasn't a bartender.
Let me Google it moment.
Right.
Yeah.
If you said someone was in that movie with Kevin Bacon and challenged
Oh, right.
you,
If you
got
played the
away
6
with it.
degrees game.
Yeah. So,
And I love that they're full on smoking. And their manager's just like, get to your fucking
yeah.
positions.
It doesn't matter that they're smoking. It's just
in a walk-in.
Yeah.
And not smoking weed. We've all smoked weed in a walk-in, I assume. But, I mean, smoking cigarettes.
It's cigarettes, yeah.
Yeah. In 99 in LA, I think that was probably frowned on at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. In LA, yeah.
Yeah, around food.
Not in
generally.
Des Moines, but in LA, yeah.
Yeah. In other parts of the country, you could still smoke in the grocery store
Yeah, yeah.
as a customer.
In other parts of the country, you could still smoke while giving birth, but
Yeah, the doctor was smoking.
The Rana loses because she can't think of an ex name. She goes up to the register. She checks out a pair of men, Adam and Zach. They tell her that Simon is usually there and he sells them drugs. They're looking for 20 hits of ecstasy. She agrees to try to get it for them.
And they're buying 20 jars of orange juice. Or not,
I love Katie
concentrated
Holmes'
orange juice.
initial comment about the two of them. God, why do gay guys have to be so hot?
Yeah.
Yep.
Which seems so weird on the first watch, going like, I don't know about that. But oh boy, was I wrong.
Yeah, no, she has good gaydar. And they're famous too, or at least mildly famous.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And she was, their show was on the TV in the break room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I never
nobody
got
noticed.
it. Yeah, that's I never got into ecstasy really, but the orange juice and LSD that was a big thing.
Yeah, orange juice and LSD. Ecstasy and orange juice wasn't really a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
mushrooms
didn't think
is one that they say drink orange juice with. Also,
yeah. What was it? The citric acid will make.
Yeah, who knows exactly?
Yeah, that was just one of those things.
Somebody
drugs,
named
man.
Doug.
I don't know.
Somebody named Doug said it.
That's the same level as like I knew a kid in another school who like
became an orange.
Yeah,
thought he was an orange.
He drank ate Pop Rocks and drank a Coke, and his head exploded.
I'm on 2 kinds of acid.
One makes my tum-tum hurt.
100% there was someone high who was like, oh, it's full of citric acid. It's got to do something, man.
I was just hydrating you.
Vitamin C. That's what it's doing.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder about LSD and vinegar.
Oh.
do that on your own time, Mal.
You take enough LSD and lots of things go with it.
Yeah, right. I remember
gravy.
I remember once, Josh, we had some acid, but we were hungry first, so we put it on tuna fish sandwiches to eat it.
In the sandwich?
We put it in the sandwich, and then Josh kept because it's the electric tuna acid test.
Okay, that's amazing.
I remember saying that. That's great. The electric tuna acid test.
Anyways, they she agrees to
Well, the distance between houses in Arivaca, once you walk to another place,
You're hungry.
you need to eat something.
She agrees to try to get them the ecstasy. After work, Rana, Claire, and Manny, they drive over to Simon's dealer's apartment, Todd. Let's see, Claire is initially like, you can't do that. That's level
I love
hopping.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Can't go directly to the guy.
The guy's always a fairly sketchy dude wearing no shirt who won't get off his couch. Always.
With
That's how it is in real life.
Yeah.
That's how.
Yeah,
and
with
I
stacks
can't
of
believe
gear.
that how long we had to hang out with these people.
Yeah.
Just to get some
Oh
dirt.
my God. They always wanted you to hang out for a while. Always.
Oh. Or
with chiseled sideburns.
Yeah.
Or they were just wicked paranoid and didn't even want you anywhere near their house.
Yeah. No, they were like
sold drugs.
They were like, leave the money behind under a brick and I'll throw it out the window into the lawn.
Yeah. Those were the two kinds of drug dealers.
Yeah. Oh,
Don't look at me, and we hang out. We should watch a movie.
And they always had a giant TV and a really expensive stereo.
Yep, those two things. And then great shelves and
everything else is boxes and cinder blocks, just like this dude's apartment.
Exactly.
Just sit wherever you want.
It was always a dude that was like 2 to 4 years older than you.
Always.
Anyways. She goes up, talks to Simon's apartment. He makes her take her shirt off
to see if she's got a wire.
Yeah. That's what he's.
You think it's pervy, just like his comment later with Claire.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just enough of a normal creep to make all those things seem so fucking creepy. But he turns up the stereo and makes her prove because she, like he said, she wants 20 hits, which is intent to distribute. Anything less, you can get away with personal.
Yeah, exactly.
Still a crime, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's a much smaller charge.
But it's an interesting way they play this character.
Yeah.
Because he approaches the bad decision but doesn't really cross the line ever.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't even shoot her. He's like, but we'll get there. So.
Yeah, no. He's always making the most sane choice for his situation as a low-level drug dealer.
He's a really well-written character, honestly.
He is.
Like everything he does is interesting because of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's mesmerizing.
Yeah, I can't look away from the sideburns.
The 20 hits actually takes it from intent to sell into trafficking.
Okay. So, yeah. Whole other class of felony.
That's the bigger deal. It's probably a misdemeanor to a felony.
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't sure if we called it trafficking at that level yet.
Intent to distribute, I think.
That's what they use.
Phrase that he uses.
No, he uses the phrase trafficking.
No, he says intent to distribute. It says.
I thought he said
that's when it goes from intent to
possession to intent to distribute.
No, intent to sell to
He said intent to sell and then trafficking.
Okay.
He did say trafficking.
Yeah, he said the word trafficking. The magic word is trafficking.
I mean, I always thought of it in terms of weed, but yeah, we used to consider that as well. I think it was under a half ounce.
Yeah.
Maybe under an ounce. But like anything over that was intent to distribute.
Which
was always, we used to joke because that was a funny way to put it. It's like, oh, I have no intent to distribute this. I'm not handing out any of this weed.
Let's see. He agrees to sell it to her after that. Warns her that the pills are very strong. Don't double dose. She
Well, and again, such a drug dealer phrase at the time. It's pharmaceutical grade. I used to hear that all the time, even about weed before it was medicinal.
Right. Pharmaceutical grade. Yeah.
Oh, it's pharmaceutical grade LSD. What pharmacy?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Which is like the dealer's way of trying to say like it's pure, it's not cut with anything.
Right. Hasn't been stepped on. Yeah.
But it was made by a pharmacist is how I always interpret that.
Yeah. I mean, with ecstasy, that's...
No, that it was the government. Oh, that's government weed. The government made that. They put it together in a lab. It's,
I remember that.
I remember all those kinds of stories. It's really good. It's from a government lab. It's like, what the fuck? No, it's not. It was wrapped in fabric softener and it came from Sonora.
Which, I mean, with ecstasy, that is enough. Like, it does come in pill form, which is fair. And I did occasionally get Robitussin in pill form instead of ecstasy.
Well, yeah, I was going to say MDMA is chemically derived, so it's all pharmaceutical grade to begin with.
Sure.
It wasn't grown in Doug's yard, and then
it's all natural, man.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pharmaceutical.
We just watched for the first time with Jude, Dazed and Confused.
Whoa! What did he?
Oh, he loved it. Yeah, I loved it. It's amazing how well they get the 70s. Like, I was just like. No, I was just like other movies, like it's like never quite right. The hair's not quite right, but Dazed and Confused, man, perfect.
And the anomaly of that being such a pivotal movie of our generation in the 90s. Like I saw it 13, 14 times in the theater probably. But again, that like boomer thing, it's like American Graffiti. Like, I don't relate to that personally. I don't know.
That was like Thoreau. I think that was like our senior year in high school. I forget what year it was.
Yeah.
But I managed to the video store in Green Valley. They would have the posters on the wall, and you could like claim them.
I remember.
Eventually, they were going to take them down, and I ended up with the Dazed and Confused poster.
I remember
in my house in Green Valley.
I remember the first time we saw it. I think it was the three of us. Brad and Eli ditched school and went to Tucson.
In the Delta 88, I think, right? Brad's big.
Yeah. Yeah. And
also, I was driving the B210 at the time, which I think is what Ron is driving in this, but I'm not exactly sure. But you guys remember the little Datsun?
Yeah.
That Al and I rolled.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, go.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, the car in this, which we haven't mentioned, is decorated for Christmas. I think it's Manny's car, it seems like.
Yeah.
Josh, you need to rephrase that. That I rolled with Al in it.
Yes. Al had very little to do with it, I suppose.
Well, he was there. He was an accessory. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, well, when we rolled, it was us. We both rolled, but I rolled. I made it roll. Yeah.
Yeah, we roll. I roll. You roll.
Well, it's not like you refused to with the voice.
We both rolled. Rolling. We both rolled in the B210.
Yep.
It was, and
it acted like a scoop. And I drove it for a while after that. It actually survived somewhat, but there was so much sand in the entire in and out of the car. Yeah.
You mentioned, of how well Dazed and Confused got the 70s. When did you think about like watching it now? That movie came out only 18 years after when it was set. Yeah. So today's Dazed and Confused would take place in 2006.
Yep. Yes,
that's gross.
Yes, it would.
But remember watching it and it felt like you were transported to another world.
Yeah, the distant past.
Yeah. The distance between the 70s and the 90s was big.
Vast.
Yeah.
That's like the last opportunity you'd get to write a screenplay without a smartphone in it. It's like 06, 07.
Yeah. 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 But I mean, without a cell phone the lack
it's
of
still cell phones, but not.
It was interesting
Google.
to me, 99, the lack of cell phones. This was the last year where a film set in the present wouldn't have cell phones, where they wouldn't have to explain the lack of cell phones.
Right. Yeah, that's very you really feel that watching this now. And I think it's very emblematic of how, so you know how like we're part of this micro generation that is defined by the whole like analog childhood, digital adulthood. And I feel like this movie is a very good time capsule of that because there are a lot of things in there that people who became teenagers even just like a couple years later did not experience. Drawing a map to someone's house, there's a guy who carries a phone book in the car, having pagers, flyers for parties, and having a place that you meet up with your friends at,
having a meetup spot and spending an entire day without contact with anybody that's not the people you're with.
Right, that you're gonna meet up there.
I don't know how we ever made it to parties back then.
I don't know why we ever got away
If you didn't
from
answer the phone, you just did.
Yeah, if you
missed it.
If you didn't answer the phone.
There was a young person reading a newspaper in this movie.
It's true.
Oh, Lord.
But then, again, it's like with the tension with Katie Holmes being stuck there. It wouldn't exist if she could just call Rana on her cell phone, FaceTime her,
text her.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Or sit on her phone on Instagram.
Yeah, right. And ignore him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You were just in a place. You were just stuck in a place. No way to contact people. Wow.
Man, I'm old. Anyways, so Simon's going to sell it to her for $15 a pill. Comes to $300. She knows he sells it to Simon for $10 a pill, which was what she was counting on. She doesn't have the 300. She only has the 200, which she got from Simon earlier. So she has to offer him collateral so that she'll return. And she offers him Claire.
He says, I already have a Swatch, which might be the most 90s thing uttered in this movie.
Yeah. His flex is so weird. He's the best weird drug dealer.
He really is. By 99, Swatch, I thought was way out. I don't know. I felt like I was 89. So. But
his references are from the 80s. So again, it's like... like you were saying, the drug dealer who is just a little bit older.
Yeah. They're all like 17, 18, and he's like 22.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But then also it's so 90s because the references that even Sarah Polley makes to, like, let's say Monty Hall. Like our generation was just full of references to shit we didn't grow up with.
Yeah.
But we were so keenly aware of.
I watched maybe 3 episodes of Let's Make a Deal in my entire life, but I absolutely got that.
We knew who Monty Hall was.
Yeah. So let's see. Rana and Claire stays there with Todd. Rana and Manny head to meet Adam and Zach at the house that they gave her the address to. Manny waits in the car, and when she heads in, pops 2 of the pills that he secretly took when she wasn't looking.
It's so crazy to me that someone would make a drug where it's like, if you take 2 of these, you'll cook your brain and die.
Yeah.
Maybe cut that into like 10 pills and quadruple your money.
Yeah, exactly. That's also really not how ecstasy works.
Yeah, no.
But
like, it's funny that that's like a plot point.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take more than 1. It's like, dude, why are these so strong? What the fuck?
Yeah,
they're leaving money on the table.
That's
like,
too strong. Yeah.
Like, you ever listen to the 10 Crack Commandments, man? Come on, bro.
No, this is 100% the drug dealer would crush up the pills, put in some baby powder, and make 4 pills out of every pill and still sell them for $10 to $15 each.
But I've definitely seen the over eager guy who like starts with 3 hits, and we're all just standing around like, all right,
yeah,
good luck. I would have taken 1 and kept okay, all right. And that dude's crying or freaking out somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Inside, Rana goes in, and Adam and Zach are there, but there's also Burke, the uncoppest man alive.
Can't even get the story for his own sting correctly. Of course, the actors remember all those details. That's their job. But you'd think, Philly, Chicago.
I didn't even think about that. Them being actors, they're like, dude, it's the details. Come on, we wrote a script. We talked about this.
Exactly. That's why they point that out. Philly,
yeah. So he goes to get her a beer. There's a whole thing where he says that we don't have any orange juice.
Where did all the orange juice go?
They left it in their car.
And he didn't know that they bought any orange juice. So then it's just nothing is enforcing that their story is reality. Also, that house is
trying to
completely
sell
bare.
Amway.
Yeah, that house is definitely not a house those people would be hanging out in.
No. You'd be suspicious of an overly eager middle-aged man.
When they're like, we need...
Especially back then. Like now, maybe not so much, but back then.
Not so much back then. But like, this guy's sketching me out. You get the indication also that maybe the orange juice was like a signal, because they, they knew Simon was their guy, and Simon knew they wanted drugs. But if you had, walk up with however many cans of orange juice you've got, however many hits.
The mom was also buying a ton of orange juice. Does that mean that she was also after drugs from Simon and just didn't ask Rana about it?
We all were. Absolutely. Don't you remember? It's like original Coke when cocaine was in. Don't you remember when acid was just in orange juice back in the day? Or ecstasy?
When you would buy
the pictures on the carton were wild.
Of concentrate at a time.
And it was always too strong and burned your throat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah.
Concentrated.
In a brown or olive green Tupperware pitcher.
That contains the flavors of orange juice's past.
We used a Tampico jug, man. It's all about the Tampico jug.
Yeah. So
I remember even telling my mom, like, you know what? I'm good on the orange juice. You don't even need to get the concentrate. So like, I take a Flintstone vitamin.
That shit was rough. I've drinking whiskey that was smoother than some of that orange juice.
Seriously.
Yeah.
My family's jug was olive green.
Yep.
Nice.
Did it have the
with
little
the white
flower
top.
on it?
The white top. I
didn't
think,
have the flower on it. It was just
I think,
green.
I
white.
think my mom's was actually mustard yellow. Yeah.
I think ours was green. Yeah.
The other thing is that another big part of their story is that there's 20 of us. There's 20 of us and we're all trying to party. And she shows up to this bare house with 3 dudes.
Yeah, exactly. There's no
she
party.
Clocks it right away.
Yeah.
As soon as she walks in, she clocks it.
Like, oh, this is wrong. This is so wrong. Yeah.
Meanwhile, that dude's face is a badge.
Yes.
Oh, it's so much is. It's so much is. And you
all
just
the
look
sharp
around
points.
Yeah.
All the sharp points.
Yeah. And it like, yeah, no, he was like, hey, we're like ready to go. You've got the stuff. Like, she goes to the restroom, flushes the drugs down the toilet, gets out of there. There's a whole thing with like, I'm underage and you gave me a beer. He lets her go.
I loved when she's in the bathroom and he like Burke knocks on the door and then jumps up to the little window to try and like see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. He's I don't know. He's so desperate.
Yeah.
This is like our first Rashomon thing that happens. We don't see Jay Moore say
go.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we don't.
Which is cool. I thought that was cool. On second watch, I like rewound it and was like, oh, he actually does say it to her. You can see him doing it. We just don't see his face or hear any sound because he's not making any noise.
Yeah,
and it lends to her character because she clocked that something was sketchy, but she probably would have done everything she could to avoid flushing the drugs because of how much she needed the profit and owes the drug dealer. But yeah, then we find out he says that to her and she's like, well, fuck.
I mean, if she could have gotten out the window in the bathroom.
Yeah,
she
exactly.
I think her first plan was to toss the drugs out the window. But
even that, yeah.
Yeah. and then just come back out, give her same story of, oh, I couldn't get anything.
That would
then
make
loop
sense.
back, get the drugs and take them back. But
Yeah, if it's
you couldn't
not
get
on
the
your
window
person,
open.
they can't attach that shit to you.
Yeah, exactly. And then
or in your vehicle, like if it's not in your property.
Well, and Manny would have homed in on that thing like a fucking heat-seeking missile
down the rest
the
of
jar.
Yeah.
Scurried out like a weasel.
Like a face hugger. Like
He'd have heard that pill bottle and just ears perk up immediately. Yeah.
Fucking Manny. So yes. So Rana. Oh yeah. Meanwhile, back at the apartment, Todd is, I don't know if I want to call it flirting, but talking to Claire. He gets a phone call from
It's
Simon.
Timothy Oliphant. He could be reading the phone book and it's flirting.
You can't ignore the Oliphant in the room.
Yeah.
I wonder how many times he's heard that personally and been like, all right.
Every single cocktail party.
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as Kevin Bacon has heard Footloose. But yeah, I don't even know if it's flirting. Again, it's that like older drug, he's making that Breakfast Club reference.
Yeah.
But he's not finding it funny. Nobody's finding it funny.
Yeah.
Why? I'm sorry, sir. Why?
Well, it's also, he's like so intense and the situation is so intense that him trying to use humor is not coming through because she is just terribly threatened by him. So that it takes a moment to be like, oh, yeah, he's doing a Breakfast Club thing. He's not going to assault me. All right, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
As a woman, you're always having to decide if this is an assault or a movie reference.
Yeah, it's either way, literally zero fucking chill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, could you talk about family circus at this point when we're alone in a room together?
Right. That's
what I mean. He walks up to creepiness. Are you a virgin? It's like, oh, bro, oh, gross. And then it's like, answer the question, Claire. Oh, it's a Bender reference.
You're like, okay, it's still a little creepy though, dude. Yeah.
It's still creepy.
Yeah.
But just like, oh, you saved it the last. He's like, no creep though, bro.
No creep. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but if you say no creep, you can say anything you want to any woman you meet in public.
Yeah, it works the same as the gay.
No homo. Yeah.
I wonder how many times my sister has gotten that in her life.
Oh,
my sister Claire.
Yeah.
Oh, the Claire.
Yeah.
Like the question, Claire.
Like my sister Deborah.
I mean, I don't know that I ever said it to her, but I said it back in high. Yeah.
I don't think it
Claire,
ever would have
answer
occurred.
the question, Claire.
Yeah.
I know that associated.
So Rana heads to the grocery store to try to get some fake pills. She actually steals them because she's out of money.
Because she doesn't have any money. She used the money for the pills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, Manny has a hallucinatory Macarena with the lady working the register.
Well, he's ghost working the register too.
I like that film device. It's been used a lot, but where something's happening in the character's head and then a stark contrast to nothing happening in reality.
Yeah. It's like,
I like that.
My favorite one of those ever was the Always Sunny high school reunion.
Yes. Or John Favreau in PCU. No. Can you blow me where the Pampers is? Oh my God, she knows.
There's also a really good one in Smiley Face, which is you mentioned earlier.
I love the shot of when they're spinning around and the camera's just like on their face.
Oh my God!
And he's got the mouth full of banana.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he just looks so joyful.
No, and
the spinning is always hilarious. They did it in Dick as a joke.
Yeah. No, but when they're feeding each other the banana, that's great.
Yeah.
No, the
banana that is way too ripe. That has bothered me since '99. How green that banana is.
It's fucking high. It was not that color to him, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
It's not right. Yeah.
The lady with the register lady, she looked so joyful too in the spinning.
Yeah.
So she replaces the pills with the fake pills. She takes them to Todd. She, Claire, and Manny head to the rave, where she sells the rest of the fake pills as ecstasy. The group of like suburban teenagers getting high in the minivan.
Mm-hmm. And they introduce themselves as Kelly and Donna.
Yep, 90210 reference.
Another scene I really liked was before they got to the party. They're still at Todd's house, and he has the conversation with the cat. Manny has the conversation with the cat in his mind.
Yes.
Chiang Kai-shek starts with an X. No, Chiang Kai-shek starts with a C. You're going to die.
You're going to die. Every cats can give that vibe.
Oh yeah.
Infinite
Like,
wisdom.
it does know. It does know when I'm going to die.
100%. My cat 100% knows when I'm going to die, and she knows that she's going to be the cause of it.
That she's going to eat your digits.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back at the apartment, Todd realizes the pills are fake and heads to the rave.
I know. If only she'd gotten her second idea first, like gone to the rave, sold all the fake shit to the kids, and then gone to Todd, but it was the other way around.
The money. Yeah.
Desperation.
Which creates dramatic tension, of course.
Yeah.
She would have had to leave Claire there the whole time.
Right.
Yeah. And it would have been like 2 or 3 hours instead of 45 minutes.
Sure. I'm glad they didn't, because the story.
Because we got a movie. Yeah.
but
it's almost like
that's all he wanted was his money. He didn't want money and the drugs back.
Yeah.
Well, and again, on the character study of Todd Gaines, he goes ahead and he's like, this is bullshit. I should not be I should not be okay with this. Like,
right. And he says
she should be getting a beat down, but he goes ahead and accepts them back.
He keeps $50 as, just for the
interest.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And makes a point of saying, I did you a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Something I do not do.
Mm-hmm.
Even for Simon.
I give head before I give a favor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, well, I don't know you, Todd, so perhaps you are enthusiastic about giving it. I don't know. I have no frame of reference, sir. Do you give head? Oh, no. Okay, so favor's not opted.
Favor's not
He's like, I'm silly for it, so you can have a favor anytime you ask.
Yeah. Todd heads to the rave. At this point, Rana's inside partying. Manny is still real high. He spots Todd and they try to run. They head out the back. Manny's not doing great. So she has to hide him in a pile of garbage. But
instead of taking him somewhere or have him sit in the car.
I don't know if you guys have been there, but I have had to hide a friend for a few hours at a party as a teenager. Like, all right, you're going to be okay in these bushes, man. If you get up,
just like little mouse.
Yeah. Just stay here. You'll be fine. Yeah.
I don't know that I ever had to put like corrugated tin and cardboard over them.
Oh, yeah, I never covered them with trash.
But yeah, there was definitely you don't get up for a while.
Just stay here. Yeah.
Just sit, bro.
Her intent was that she'd be right back with the car within minutes, not that she was going to then get hit and had to do a whole nother adventure.
So they let's see. So she runs, she almost gets to the car when Todd finds her. He has a gun. He doesn't want to hear an explanation. Was he okay? This was kind of one of my unanswered questions. Was he gonna just shoot her?
I think so.
I don't think so. Oh, you do.
I love that I got two opposite answers immediately.
I don't know that he's that guy. You know, he's mid-level.
Yeah.
He's the drug dealer to them, but
right. But
I'm not sure he could have done it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he had it in it to just shoot her. I think he was going to. I think he may have assaulted her a little. I don't know.
I think he went there with the plan to do it, but
I don't think his plan was to kill her. The gun was part of the threat, and then likely it was possibly going to turn into one. She needed to give him that money, and she was going to need to get him a bunch more money, and he didn't care how she got it.
Yeah.
And then, like, the gun reinforced that.
Yeah.
Also, I'm pretty sure that gun is the same gun that we see in Las Vegas.
Look.
Like the exact same object.
They're on a budget, dude.
Yeah, they had one gun. Yeah. They had one prop
and one Ferrari.
Yes.
For Jude's student film shoot, I have this prop gun that I think I bet you it's an old CO2 gun, so it's got the weight and look of an actual gun. Well, anyways, we didn't use it, but I noticed it like 3 days later that it was just in the back seat of my car. I was like, oh fuck.
Wow. Yeah, man.
Even during the shoot, we were using the little business center, conference center, and I had just left it on the counter. And the manager of the property, she didn't really inquire what we were doing. She could tell we were cool, but I was like, oh yeah, I should hide this so she doesn't walk by.
Be like, hey guys,
a semi-automatic pistol.
Yeah. He's threatening her when she gets hit by a car.
And his reaction is great. Like, he's just like, what is even my play here?
Yeah, he's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
And he gives the car a look of like, excuse me?
Yeah, totally. It's just like a what gives. What?
Yeah, what?
You're like,
going to drive away?
Like, seriously, dudes? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, no, he is befuddled.
Yeah, his expressions in this scene are as good as at the end when he's watching Simon about to be shot in the arm and he's just fucking so excited.
So
which, okay, actually, now that I think about it, indicates he's probably not a murderer because he's probably hasn't seen anybody get shot.
Yeah.
So he's so enthralled, be like, oh my God, I'm gonna see it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
She gets hit by a car, which then she's on the roof of the Miata. And they drive and hit the brakes, so she tumbles off down a hill into a ditch, into a culvert, and drives away.
Oh yeah, and the shot of her, she's like in the water. For a second, I thought it was like blood pooling, but she's in that culvert. There's a drainage thing there, drainage pipe there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way they shot that was good, clever.
Yeah. Well, and she like kind of coughs and sputters, and like you can see, like she's not dead.
This is our second, like Rashomon moment where we see it from multiple angles, and it's not. This is, I guess, the Rashomon moment of the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember it being jarring, like she was out of the picture.
Yeah.
I thought she was dead. The first watch, I was like, "Oh God, did they just kill that girl? What is this?"
Yeah, they don't let you know for a while,
dead, but that
she's
story
okay.
arc.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You just thought that was done,
right? Because for
a moment you're like, "This is a real short movie."
Yeah,
and this was his original screenplay. Basically, stopped here. Then we cut back to earlier that day at the supermarket to Simon. He's trying to get someone to cover his shift.
Title card, Simon. To let us know this is his perspective.
Yep. Where is Jalisco? That is in Mexico. We get kind of a replay of the whole scene, a truncated replay of it. Then after he gives the money, and we cut to him waking up in a trunk. He's bangs on the trunk, and the car stops. It opens. We meet his friends, Marcus, Tiny, and Sing. He got wasted and passed out before they even left L.A., so they put him in the trunk. They're those kind of friends.
It kind of reminded me of the scene. It was like the first time any of us had seen Dr. Ken. But in the Hangover, when he flies out of the trunk, like a spider monkey just flies out.
Back in the car, Tiny tells a story about the whole thing with the contact and the blowjob. Claims to be black. Marcus has some words for him about multiple things.
How many of us have ridden in a trunk? I could raise my hand.
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One time at the drive-in, we talked my cousin T into getting into the trunk, even though by then it was by the carload and not by the person.
So
anyway, Vegas.
Yeah, they're on their way to Vegas. They get there, they check in using Todd's credit card, which Simon borrowed from Todd. Does Todd know he has this card?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think so too. I'm inclined to think he does, but
because that's a bold move.
It is
to steal your drug dealer connection's credit card.
It just seems
and
so
use it in another.
Weirdly out of character for Todd to give him the card.
Yeah, that sounds like a favor.
But
he probably gave him head first.
I think
I'll only accept your credit card if you blow me.
I think there's a number of things here that indicate Todd does actually do favors for his friends.
Yeah, he's friends with Simon. They're friends. He's not just
then he was
client.
like, "Oh, I get a discount. Take."
It gives him an out of town alibi too. I wasn't here.
That's a good point.
I was in Las Vegas.
Well, I mean, he didn't need
That's
an
a motivation
alibi
for something.
at the time.
Well, it's all about
dealer always needs
obfuscating
an alibi.
where you're at. Yeah, you're
At
always
any given second.
spreading yourself out.
I could be anywhere.
But yeah,
like literally though, back then that was how a lot of people moved. As far as my friends,
Todd is also a very
Diego
financially
and
sound
Phoenix.
person. He wants the points.
That's true.
And the points.
You got to get those points.
Todd also gave him the recommendation on the strip club.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Todd and Simon do have this closer
Friendship.
relationship.
Yeah. Shit. My bad. Oh no! I'm sorry. That was the still that period where you needed a credit card to secure certain things, but then you could pay in cash when you showed up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I do remember like who's got that, whose grandmother, whose mom has the credit card, so we can do this, and then we'll just pay, and it won't affect the card.
Yeah.
Now it's like we pre-ran it for 3 days.
Yeah. Exactly. They check in, then hit the buffet. Tiny and Sing eat a lot of shrimp. Buffet shellfish is never a good idea.
No, unless it's a very expensive restaurant.
Yeah.
Bro, they paid
unless you're paying $200.
And they're going to get their money's worth. They're going to get their $5 worth at that buffet.
That's what Vegas is about, man. And then is that you spend your money eating because they give the alcohol away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's all about the buffets, man.
They have the conversation about tantric sex.
Yeah, they have the conversation about tantric sex. They go back to the hotel room where Tiny and Sing are immediately violently ill.
Liz Lemon style.
Yeah.
When did you find time to eat a diaper you found on the beach? God, Lemon, your breath.
So the kid from next door opens up the little suite door Has anyone ever been in a position to use that when you've had a room next to somebody else and you had one of those doors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Partying with a giant group of like 20 people in San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Got
is
adjoining rooms.
Or big family things usually.
So, they meet the kid there. He knocks. The mother immediately ushers him away. They're Tiny and sings "Stay in the hotel room" while Marcus and Simon go out to gamble. Simon immediately loses all his money. Marcus confiscates his wallet and continues to gamble. So Simon wanders around in search of a good time. He finds a wedding, which he crashes, a wedding reception. I love the old lady is just handing him multiple glasses of champagne.
Josh and I did that. It was either L.A. or Vegas, but like walked upon a wedding and then went in and just were immediately enveloped. like, yay! Come on.
Everyone's here.
Yeah, I think it was Vegas. But anyway. He dips into a wedding.
Yeah. I've never crashed a function like that. Anyway, but
it's fun.
He hooks up with a couple bridesmaids, head back to their room. They get high, and the one has to stuff Kleenex in her nose in order to keep the smoke
instead of pinching her nose.
She stuffs Kleenex in, yeah.
First of all, I've never heard of that, but okay.
Sure. And of course, the Kleenex gets lit on fire. He stamps it out, but apparently not good enough. They have a threesome in which he apparently masters tantric sex.
Yeah, just right then and there.
It's just discipline. It's that easy.
It's called edging now, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's honestly what it is. Sting, we know what you're up to.
We've always known.
We've always known Sting. Yes, you and the police.
He's a cop.
Yeah.
Yep.
With your messages and bottles, watching me everywhere I go.
Your do-do-dos and your da-da-das.
Yeah. Your, I don't know, kisses from a rose. Like that's Seal.
Seas of golden. The seas of barley.
I wish all the one-name people had gotten together just for one album. So there's Sting, Seal, Bono, Cher,
Madonna.
All of them. Not a last name to be seen. So they, anyways.
Fire breaks out during the
fire breaks out. Yeah, the room's on fire. He just grabs his clothes and runs.
I mean, what else is there to do?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Marcus goes to the bathroom, gets mistaken for a bathroom attendant by a dude in a white guy in a cowboy hat.
So there's subtle racism, but also he's wearing this mustard yellow jacket,
which is the same color that all of the staff are wearing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And the people are friendly to him. They're even tipping him well.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Yeah, the subtle racism of low expectations.
He doesn't take the tip.
No, he leaves the tip. I would have taken the cash.
I would have taken the cash.
It's money.
It might be only two.
I understand. I would have as well, but we're white and nothing offends us.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No,
we don't have to have principles.
Josh, everything offends us. It's just nothing that's actually real.
Relevant, yes. Yeah. Nothing really does. Yeah. Has there ever been a name for white people that was ever like, oh, don't you call me cracker?
Yeah.
Yeah. You.
I wish people would start calling me honky more. It would make me giggle.
More. I think honky and jive turkey need to be brought back.
Jive turkey? I dream of being called a jive turkey.
That would be. Oh no.
So
so then he goes out to the valet station. A guy pulls up in a Ferrari and assumes he's a valet in this ongoing element.
Yeah, Simon finds Marcus. They head outside. Yeah, the guy just throws him the keys, walks right in. So they decide to take the Ferrari. While driving, they find a gun in the glove compartment. Simon is not good with a gun.
He's very British.
Yes. He's never held a gun before.
Or even put together how easily it is to accidentally fire a gun. That connection never happened in his brain.
Yeah, not at all. They head to the strip club where Marcus tells Simon, whatever you do, don't order champagne because it's a private dance.
Also, where did he put the gun when they went into the strip club? Because you're not supposed to take guns into the club, and those gals were.
It looked like it was pretty.
Down.
Oh, that's true. He didn't get patted down by the.
Yeah, they make
they
a point of mentioning that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's right. The older dad's like, "What the fuck were you doing?"
Yeah, I assume he just stuck it like in the back of his pants or something. But
this was the first time I had heard of Champagne Room. This was before Chris Rock's "No Sex in the Champagne Room" came out.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was a trap. It was like an upsell at a timeshare.
It is.
It's just like, no, we're fine here.
It was no different. It was just in a little room. Back then, $20 a dance instead of $5.
Or not even just a little room, just on a
little dais,
a little bit upstairs, a little bit upstairs
with
against the wall.
It's like there's more boobs in there.
Yeah, the clubs I worked at did have it was a separate room, but it didn't have a roof.
Had a room.
It was just they just put up a couple
cordoned it up.
Yeah, little walls, and there was like a door, and there were like love seats in there instead of just the regular chairs.
Right. You could widen your stance. It's about the only difference.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, $20 instead of $5. But they I wonder what inflation has done to lap dances these days. I wonder what they're at. It's
holy shit. I wonder, yeah.
Oh my God.
Is it 20 for a regular now? I mean, that sounds crazy.
I mean, they had to come down during COVID.
But right? I get mad paying $3 for a dozen eggs. So what do I know?
I'm past the age of that novelty.
Yeah.
They're just knee dances now. It's they don't sell you the whole scene. Yeah. They don't give you the edge.
You only need the edge.
You lean up against a bar that's on the wall.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Social distancing. Yeah, I think I made that joke during COVID that I'll probably never see a cesarean scar under a black light again.
Yeah. No. God.
Same with buffets. Like, I don't know if I'm doing that.
Yeah, I'm never going to get food poisoning from a country town buffet ever again. So yeah, of course Simon immediately wants a champagne dance. They go in. He is unable to keep his hands to himself, which was the only rule. He leaves the credit card with Victor Jr., who is manning the champagne room entrance. Goes in. There's one rule only. Don't talk about champagne room.
And again, the subtle racism.
Yeah.
He walks in and assumes it's Marcus that's being touchy and,
Yeah, exactly. This is actually, wow. There's so much in this movie, which was so weird for a white person movie in 1999.
Yeah, it is self-aware in some ways. But again, that's where like we were embracing African-American culture in a popular culture way. But like still that like he's my black friend, but you really should watch him.
Yeah. So of course Simon can't keep his hands off the girls, so Victor Jr. gets called in. He starts beating up on Simon. Marcus steps in, and when Victor turns to fight Marcus, Simon pulls the gun, shoots him in the arm, and they run. He
just pointed and shot.
Yeah. He didn't know what was going to happen.
Lucky it grazed.
I don't think he intended to shoot. I think he pulled it out of
yeah,
and it just went off.
Yep. We saw his gun handling in the car.
Yeah, Simon did not intentionally do anything with that.
It was
gun.
bound to happen.
Yeah.
Life seems like a prop to Simon.
Mm-hmm.
He's bouncing and bumbling. through life.
Everything just happens. He's a British dude who sells drugs in LA, who is currently in Las Vegas with a gun and a stolen Ferrari. Like,
and one of those, good time buddies that you just can't figure out how he's alive.
Yeah. Yeah. How are you not
the
dead
dude
yet?
that jumps off the cliff to see how deep the water is?
Mm-hmm.
That guy.
Yeah. So they head back to the hotel. They wake up Tiny and Sing. Meanwhile, Victor Sr.'s patching up Victor Jr. He's bemoaning kids these days. They use the credit card to find out where Simon and Marcus are staying and go after them. They find them in the hotel room and start breaking into the hotel. Meanwhile, they
escape by
they get the
bribing a kid in the adjoining room.
Yeah, they get the kid next door who opened up earlier to let them through. They run.
Right, which they set up.
Yeah,
by being a dick to him.
That kid was a little rascal.
Like
I mean, not characteristically. He was in the Little Rascals.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Oh, right. Yes, he was.
One of the actual Little Rascals.
The little one.
Yeah. That kid is 80 years old.
I was the
He was
seventh
in
alfalfa.
he was the original cast.
Yeah.
He's a little Billy Barty. Little but old.
I was just running through the movie as we speak, and I just noticed that there were like a couple of printed out signs in the champagne room that said, "Ladies, keep the feet off the chairs."
Huh.
So they had rules too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a country of rules, not men.
They're part of a union.
Men, keep your hands off the ladies. Ladies, keep your feet off the chairs.
I mean, that's upholstery.
Chairs, keep your legs off the couch.
That upholstery is expensive to clean. So,
yeah, you scuff it up.
There's a chase. Then we get the big car chase. We get the Steal My Sunshine needle drop was for the Ferrari earlier. This is the magic carpet rides needle drop as they're getting out of the underground parking garage. It's a whole
because they lost the Ferrari because dude realized it wasn't there and set off a low jack thing.
Yeah, exactly, and it froze. It's a whole car chase. They
wait, did we miss Telly Savalas on the TV?
Yeah, Telly
Telling
Savalas
how to gamble?
explaining Vegas.
Like, yeah, how
the info channel.
Yeah,
yes, so
the
funny.
hotel information channel. Yeah,
But
do you
having it
like
be
the
Telly
hotel
Savalas is
information
great.
channel? Thursdays are just that now on NBC.
MTV shows only the hotel information channel 24 hours a day.
I'm sorry, it was another 30 Rock reference. I can never help myself.
But and then for 36 hours straight, hotel information channel, then 36 hours of ridiculousness.
I think Flanders, yeah. Oh, they have my favorite channel. Is that maybe that was a different.
There's a whole thing. They pull up at the cop. They go through the alley. They get stuck. Then the car they get rammed out of the alley, and then they get to drive away while the Bronco they're in rolls. Or was it a Jimmy? I don't know.
Did this movie predate Austin Powers? This came after Austin Powers, right?
After.
Yeah.
Yes.
Them getting stuck in the alley
pretty
has
close.
to be an Austin Powers reference. Or no, that was Austin Powers 2, wasn't that?
Yeah, but it wasn't really the same. They didn't play it for comic effect like this.
Just getting
back forth
getting
thing.
stuck like that takes so much work. I can't imagine
That almost happened to me in Chicago.
Oh my God.
In a truck. I had turned in this alley because there was everything was one way around me. And I went down this alley and it started to fucking narrow. 2 brick buildings coming together. It was terrifying.
Yeah.
I started to just scrape the truck and I was like, okay, now I'm going to back out of this.
Oof. They escape. They do escape. Then Victor Sr. makes a call to trace Todd's address from the credit card. Then we cut back to earlier that day. Adam and Zach are getting taped up with the wire, getting ready for the drug bust. Burke, they have a deal with Burke that if they entrap the dealer, then all the charges go away from possession. I think they're not so much worried about the charges because they have lawyers and stuff.
Yeah.
They could probably easily, plead that down. They just probably don't want it to be public. It would ruin their careers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So while they're in the car, Burke asks Zach about his girlfriend.
Who he accurately describes as 5'8", brown hair, blue eyes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Beautiful. I love
and it kicks off this like Burke thing where you don't know if these are homoerotic comments. You don't know. Just, like I bet he works out kind of.
The dinner party
and
scene,
the cheating thing too.
One of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen. Yeah. Oh, the cheating.
Does she cheat on you? Do you cheat on her?
Yeah.
Right.
You know who
yes.
it's with?
Yes.
Yeah. It feels very groomy every scene with him.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about Lamore.
Yeah.
To swing.
The sock story.
Mm-hmm.
Like he found a pair of socks that didn't have elastic.
Yes.
And when he explains that, he calls him, that he says he's a John Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
John Holmes and Sherlock.
So yeah, they.
How did you solve this case? My giant penis.
So they go to the supermarket to try to get they're gonna try to get Simon to sell them, but of course it's the whole thing. Rana.
Sorry to interrupt, but it's really great because they're mic'd. Mm-hmm. So they just found out the other one that he thinks he's cheating, but they're mic'd, so they can't have a conversation about it. But they have a conversation of like, "Oh, you think your girlfriend's cheating? What? Who do you think it might be? Oh, I think it's this boyfriend who keeps calling. I keep having the same problem with my girlfriend." So like they're having a couple fight without portraying that they're having a couple fight.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
And Katie Holmes clocks it.
Yes. We get a replay of the scene with Rana in the house. We see Zach secretly warning her, telling her to go. After the bust, Burke invites Adam and Zach to his house for dinner.
Almost kind of forces them, coerces them, kind of, like this is like you still owe me.
Right, because like he won't sign the papers making it go away until they come to dinner.
And Burke demonstrates his cuffing technique on Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great scene.
You see it on
TV. They never get it.
They never do it right.
Ever. Yeah.
And it pisses me off.
Yeah. So they head to his house for dinner. We meet Mrs. Burke, Jane Krakowski. She
doing a real Stepford Wives kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, when he walks into the kitchen and she's bent over like that, and then other dude is in the bedroom and Burke is like naked getting ready. Like it's full on like, oh, they're swingers.
She also seems like she's not fully free in this situation. She seems like a prisoner.
She does.
Just her performance.
That's what I meant by the Stepford Wife thing. Yeah. Just real robotic and Stockholm syndrome.
And by March, we might be number 3.
When you find out that that's what's going on, it's just so...
It's a multi-level.
It's hilarious. Yeah, multi-level.
Yeah, multi-level marketing scheme.
And then you realize they're just also creepy.
Yeah. Yes, they're just creepy and they're selling MLM. Yeah.
And they don't know what kind of wine goes with ham.
Yeah, no, it was funny.
I didn't know there.
Instant.
I had no idea there was a ham pairing. So what wine goes with ham? I don't know, but it was made under the trailer.
Yeah, Boone's Farm?
Ham.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So,
has anybody ever been served ham outside of a holiday type setting? Have you ever gone to dinner at somebody's house and they're like, I made a ham?
No.
Yeah. I haven't. That's just me.
I don't think I have.
It's not a fancy meat.
I mean, maybe my family? Like at
Well,
no, but
yeah.
that would have been holiday. That would have been a holiday thing.
Right.
Yeah.
A holiday. Anyways, moving on. Ham.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, there's the creepiest multi-level marketing pitch ever. I love that they leave and like the one guy has the thing with the papers saying that they're not being charged, and the other guy has like products from the company, like they had to say yes.
Confederated products.
Yeah, no. When they say you want us to sell Amway, Bert gets so mad. No, it's a different company.
Yeah.
With a different quality of product. So yeah, they leave. Adam and Zach leave dinner at Burke's house. They buy booze and discuss their mutual infidelities and realize that they both cheated with Jimmy, the makeup guy. Fucking Jimmy.
He's such a slut.
Yeah, he really is.
I love that it's the same person. It's such a funny bit.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
I love the joke of that, like one of them retrained him how to give blowjobs, and then the other one benefited from that retraining.
Right. Yeah. So they head to Jimmy's house there. Melissa McCarthy. Is that his roommate or his sister?
Roommate? Either.
I think just his roommate.
Yeah.
You know, in LA, you gotta just
yeah. Tells them that Jimmy's at a rave. She's like, the whole thing with her is like, you guys know, right?
This has been entertainment for her.
Yeah.
She's like oh my God, there was one time you missed each other by minutes.
I love that. That's the payoff. For
I'm
this.
just a bystander.
Yeah,
because that's a movie in itself. Is her perspective of her roommate cheating with two partners.
Yes.
Well, and you might get the impression at first that she's starstruck, you know, because they are famous television actors. But it's like, no, I've seen you both so many times.
Yes.
God,
I'm just a bystander.
Yeah. So
I think this is a clever way, considering that the time, to use gay characters. Mm-hmm. And to have the infidelity thing instead of them, you know, I don't know, the infinite other ways you could have done this, but having them find out together and go there together and, you know, have it be revealed that they missed each other multiple times.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it's important that they get, that they're able to talk about their relationships openly as if it were hetero or not. So it wasn't a gay couple for a novelty type sake. It was them having real life. That was just a couple.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they're almost out for vengeance, like in defense of each other.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they Melissa McCarthy tells them Jimmy's at a rave. So they go there. They find Jimmy. They cut his hair as punishment for double cheating. They leave the rave and they accidentally hit Rana. And we get their view of this scene.
They scream so loud. I laughed so hard.
And they both do the
It's so good.
Yeah, that was a beautiful scream from them both.
It was a Chris Tucker level lady scream.
Yes. They drive away at a gas station. Zach tries to reassure Adam that even if Rana was alive, Todd would have shot her. Then Adam realizes he's still wearing his wire.
In a world where no one carries a cell phone and technology is not really a thing. I mean, I guess these characters do have cell phones. We do see them on the phone earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You would remember that you have that thing taped to your chest.
You would.
You would, yeah.
You 100% would.
He is an actor,
He's rattled.
though. He has like mic packs and things like that taped to him normally.
That's a good point.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So but
He
it's
spends multiple
hilarious
hours.
of like that
they
they just
committed
had
a
the
hit and run.
conversation of oh, I can't believe we got away with that murder. Oh no.
Why are we talking about the crime but
we're just running lines.
that was a perfect explanation.
Yeah.
Like, we were rehearsing. We're actors.
But also, that doesn't record anything. It's a radio transmitter, and whatever it's transmitting to is turned off in an entirely different part of town. Nothing's recording them.
Yeah, they're
or even if it's turned on, there's a range.
Exactly.
We've seen that at least in movie science.
They don't know any of that. They just play.
I guess there's a
TV.
range in real science.
There's a range, absolutely. Yeah, like walkie-talkies only work so far apart. So they drive away after Ron. Okay, well, no, we did that already. So they think they decide they're going to have to go back because they think they were recorded and get rid of the body, because if there's no body, there's no crime. When they get back, Zach.
I mean, it's the 90s. There's truth to that.
Was the old joke of like the early 20th century? It's like, blood. There's blood all over this crime scene. Gross. Clean it up.
Draw a line around the body so that we know where it was,
and then throw it in the fire. So Zach is trying to pull her out of the culvert. Adam's like freaking out. It's like, pretend you're acting, Adam. Pretend. I'm
not delusional, Zach. Well, then grab her fucking arms.
Yeah. So there's then they realize she's not dead. So they pull her out and put her on top of a car with an alarm going off, and watch from a distance as the kids that were selling the aspirin to earlier call an ambulance.
Oh no, Kelly, somebody beat her up.
Kelly.
So this is one of those moments in the movie where I had to rethink what I was watching. Somebody call an ambulance, and the one kid turns and runs away, and I thought, oh yeah, that's smart. There's a body here. You bought drugs from her. You should run away. No, he's running to go call somebody from a payphone.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
Yep.
Couldn't just do it.
Yep. We cut back to Claire at the rave. Morning breaks. She walks to a restaurant to meet up. That's their meeting spot if they get separated. But they're not there. She instead finds Todd. They have breakfast together. He asks what she's on, and what does she say? Something in dextrotrim? What was the first one?
Ginkgo?
Yeah.
Ginseng.
Ginseng.
Is it
Ginseng and dextrotrim?
Yeah. Back when dextrotrim was actually speed.
Yeah, dextrotrim was a diet drug, right?
Yeah. And it had actual like meth derivatives in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amphetamines.
Yeah.
Not methamphetamine.
But amphetamines.
Sorry, I just remembered there was a moment where Zach almost thought he was going to kill the almost dead Rana.
Yes.
That's right.
With the
because
wrench.
they're like, we have a plan. Well, the plan depended on her being dead. And instead of like rethinking the plan, he's like, well, I need to make her dead.
Yeah.
Hey. All right, new plan.
They are actors.
Yeah.
They are.
They are actors.
And Mimbos, kind of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. But anyways, yeah. So she's having breakfast with Todd. They're talking. We get the monologue from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
They,
I guess we didn't like the monologues about Christmas, and there's like,
and surprises.
So Christmas is around in this movie. There's an element of that it's not a Christmas movie, but it takes place at Christmas, and then there's that element of like when you are broke. Christmas is just a thing that is happening around you.
Right.
So
You're not
like
partaking in it.
Point.
There's no Christmas happening. Christmas is a button that Rana has to wear on her 14-hour shift.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. No, there's little Christmas things at the beginning. Simon says it can't evict you on Christmas Eve. You'd be ho-ho homeless.
Well, and it's a Christmas rave.
Christmas rave. His car is decorated.
Right.
Todd has a Santa hat on at one point.
Yeah, it's on the periphery. Like
there's like Christmas. There's Christmas stuff in every scene of this movie, but no one's really talking about Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. They flirt. They head back to Todd's place where they're making out in the apartment.
No, they're making out on the stairs.
The stairs.
Which when I watched as a teenager, I thought that was hot and romantic. And now I just think of how bad it would hurt your back.
Oh, that would be the worst.
All the sticky stuff on the stairs.
And you'd like slide down. And there's nothing good about that.
The Amazon guy would be watching you.
I'd break your coccyx.
Yeah. When the cat shows up and Todd's like, how'd you get out? And then we see that the victors are there. They came from Vegas looking for Simon. Looking
for their spoils.
Yeah. We hard cut to Todd drawing a map and being very helpful. Be like, there's construction you may actually want to take.
Oh, doing the California joke. Yeah. That's how long that's been.
But then Simon just shows up.
Yeah, Simon shows up. There's a bit of a scuffle, but Claire yells at them and asks what they actually want.
They were going to shoot him in the head.
Yeah, they were just going to kill him.
In the apartment.
Yeah.
It's not a good idea. It's a bad plan.
You shouldn't even shoot him in the arm in the apartment. It's an apartment. People are going to hear the gunshot because they're right through the other wall. So they want justice, so they're going to shoot Simon in the arm. He's real cheerful about it. Like, sure, go for it. He's that fucking guy.
I mean, I think that he sees the deal as that's fair.
Given the alternative.
And also, what a cool way to end my story. Mr. Threesome.
But he's also
Ferrari shot a guy, got shot by the guy. Book it.
He's the embodiment of Freud's, death wish, death drive.
Yeah.
Just like juggles a gun around. Like I said, the friend who you just don't know how he's still alive.
Yeah, exactly. And
Oliphant is just thrilled.
Yeah, he's like, I get to watch him get shot.
He's giddy with excitement, and then he's like, I can't do it. What?
Yeah, Victor can't do it. He's having second thoughts. His dad's like, you fucking kids.
It's different when he knows you're going to shoot him.
True.
Yeah, Claire leaves in disgust. In the hallway, we get the gunshot, and I'm okay.
That is a really realistic gunshot sound. That's one of the more realistic gunshot sounds I can think of in a movie. Because I've heard gunshots inside from like another wall before, and it was very like, oh fuck, that sounded really real. Holy shit. Which was cool. It was just a cool way for that all to kind of come together.
Yeah. So meanwhile, Rana wakes up in the hospital, gets up, and immediately goes to work. America,
baby.
Especially in the 90s.
What a country.
Snuck out of the hospital.
Especially now.
With a limp and a head wound.
Yep.
In the hospital, sharing the hospital room with her is a guy in a body cast who's dressed as Santa. So he also had a rough Christmas.
Yes, he did.
I got the impression that he got stuck in the chimney.
I thought he fell off a roof.
I'm sorry. Yeah, or that. That's probably more plausible. But yeah, because his family's there with him. He was playing Santa.
Yeah.
I guess the chimney's a little more grim.
A little more gremlins.
Gremlins.
Yeah.
Gremlins.
Rana goes back to work. Claire's there. They realize they left Manny at the rave. So she and Claire head back there. They find Manny still underneath the pile of garbage. They go to Rana's car. She can pay her rent now. She got to keep the money at least.
Plus $20.
Yeah,
she's $400 up.
Yep.
$20.
And Manny asks, "What are their plans for New Year's?" Roll credits, and that's go.
I can't believe that they were able to drag the tension out to the very final moments of the movie and end the movie on a humorous note. I thought they were like, we're going to find Manny dead. This sucks, man.
Right.
This sucks because Manny was just having a good time. And that's going to be the consequences of this weekend. Nope, no consequences. Whatever. It's fine. Manny's fine. Yeah.
But it's one of those fun situations where it's not a happy ending, but you're relieved that people aren't dead or that they're okay. But it's just like she's just clocking right back into work.
Yeah.
And here we go.
Well, the shooting is the same way.
On.
You get Oliphant looking and going like, oh yeah, shoot him.
Well, but also
versus him getting shot in the head in his apartment.
But also like it like she still works with Simon. Like Todd's gonna find out she's still alive. I mean, I have to assume he's gonna be like, I don't know. I guess you got punished for it. I guess it's all good.
Yeah. I spent the weekend with Claire. Let bygones be bygones.
Yeah.
You got hit by a car. I saw it.
Yeah. Like it's all good.
You got your come up. You got your come up. It's
I'd be like, pay me back when you can. Like we'll work it out.
I can't remember the state, but recently there is a prisoner who had a heart attack and died, and they resuscitated him and brought him back to life, and he is now making the argument that his life sentence had been fulfilled. That if he was just allowed to have a heart attack and die, he would have died. Yeah. But the state brought him back. I love that.
I hope they let him out.
I hope so too. Even if he's a cold-blooded killer, be like, damn, that is a legal loophole.
It's a technicality. Do it. Yeah.
Well, yeah. If he did a DNR and they resuscitated him, he didn't consent to resuscitation.
And then also because he died for those moments, a new Slayer showed up.
Right.
Another Highlander.
But this one is one's in Jamaica and has a hell of an accent. That's it. For Go, any final thoughts or unanswered questions?
Nope.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Good choice. Good movie.
Yeah, really good movie.
It was me.
I haven't seen it.
It was my choice.
Yeah.
Sorry, Al. Your choice might suck still.
Was it your choice? You thought of it all on your own?
Al chose Alien 7, Christmas with the Cranks. I didn't choose it all on my own. That's right. And that's true. Andrea helped me.
I'm credit grubbing.
She helped me. She helped me sound out the title.
Yeah. I'm not going to go through all the thumbs. I'm assuming it's up all the way around. I know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's up.
We're all thumbs.
Unless Al's going to throw us a curveball at the last minute.
No, I'm not. I just wanted to say solid needle drops.
Absolutely.
The music in this, it took me back. It was so good.
Yep.
I was worried this would have it'd be the nostalgia effect of that this movie was not as good as I remembered it, and that it would not be very good, but it is still a very fun movie.
I remember
still a good film,
it was better than I remembered. I remembered it as being fun, but it was legitimately good. So
I liked it because I forgot certain things. I don't remember how long ago I watched it last, but I loved that I forgot certain things about the plot. And then
you would love being me. Because experiences are constantly new.
That's being me.
Because, for instance, Jason Bourne,
I can't remember
Josh
anything.
has forgotten that he saw all the Jason Bourne movies.
But never forget, Josh.
There's no fucking way.
We've done podcast episodes that no one else remembers.
I have full on memories.
I still find it hilarious that no one remembers the Gone in 60 Seconds episode.
I don't believe you. It's not that I don't remember. I don't believe you.
I remember it. I remember it.
I don't believe you either, Al. Don't join him on this.
Okay.
I will not be deceived.
I wasn't asking for a show of hands. I don't believe any of you.
Nick Cage and his friends stole a bunch of cars. It happened.
Josh is the only reliable narrator on this show.
Yikes.
So
and that's saying something. I don't know what, but it's saying something.
So, all right. That draws a curtain on Go, which means it's time to find out what we are going to be watching on Holiday Phosphorescence next week. And this time, our decider is Brian. Brian, what are we watching?
So, what was it? Almost Famous would have been in 2006. Was that the one that we were talking about? Or
No, Dazed and Confused.
Dazed and Confused would have been in 2006. I'm choosing a 2006 movie that I've never seen. Deck the Halls with Matthew Broderick and Danny DeVito.
Oh no!
I haven't seen that either. They compete.
Okay.
No, maybe I have seen it, but they compete.
Fair warning.
Right?
This has a 6% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Bring it on.
That's why I chose it.
I mean, nothing is better than Jack Frost, but this will be fun.
I mean, a few weeks warning ahead. I'm kind of going with the same route as Brian. Of we're not going to be watching good movies all the way through this.
Well, there are very few.
I think the same.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Therefore, I am.
I may the same. I may be choosing a movie that none of us have ever seen that could be really bad.
Oh, I'm 100% choosing a movie none of us have ever seen that is terrible. So,
oh God.
But Deck the Halls
All right, well, I'm excited,
also is in that category. So, yeah,
next week
is
Deck
next
the
week
Halls.
on Deck. So it's usually we
Next
get a pretty
week
good
on Deck
mix of like good and bad. This time it's one good and then bang, bang, bang. So, all right, next week we'll be watching Deck the Hall 2006's Matthew Broderick, Danny DeVito vehicle.
It's a pairing we
Kristen
didn't know.
Chenoweth in it too.
She's delightful.
I mean, how many years have we been doing Holiday Phosphorescence?
Like 4 at this point.
Are we running out of good holiday movies?
No, there's plenty of.
We'll never run out.
Good ones
There's
to do.
so many. I mean, there's
This
good.
is America.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to see you guys do. There are hundreds of Hallmark ones.
No,
and they are all terrible.
Yeah, we talked about that one.
Yeah. No, one year we should just do only Hallmark for holiday.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just throw a
find
dart
the most
at a board.
insane ones we can.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, there's I didn't do it, but there's seriously one that just came out this year called Hot Frosty.
Hot Frosty.
Yes, I watched a video about Hot Frosty.
That's
I'm
actually
obsessed
gaining
with
some
the idea.
I was
of Hot
traction.
Frosty.
I nearly chose Hot Frosty, but
No, but if you go to Peacock and you just pop in the word Christmas in the search bar, all that Hallmark shit comes up, and it's just like, yeah, we should just throw a dart at the list.
yeah, that
Hot
or
Frosty is if Jack Frost was a meet cute.
yeah, that or almost chose The Merry Gentleman, which stars Chad Michael Murray as a male stripper, and they have to save the strip club.
All right.
Anyways.
Next year on Harmless Phosphorescence.
Yeah. Anyways, next week on a Holiday Phosphorescence, we will be watching Deck the Halls. Until then, thanks for hanging out with us. So, guys, what are we doing for New Year's?
Nothing. You just got dosed with a pharmaceutical grade dose of Josh CC.
Yo, you done yet, girl? I'm Andrea Martinez Cece.
I'm Brian Lesh, and everything I own comes from Confederated Products.
Smell the veggie burgers. Can you smell them? I'm Alaric Weber.
We'll see you next time, everyone. Bye.
Go.